Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the co-optional podcast for the 20th of May 2014. It's part of my new intro.
Yep.
You like that? I give useful, pertinent information in the first 5 seconds, which sets the tone for the rest of the show.
And horribly dates us.
It
So-
does. It kind of. Yeah, you're right. Actually,
A year from now, people will be like, ugh, old news. We can't.
Ugh,
drink
no
Oh
now.
my god, I
Can't
can't believe I'm listening to this podcast from so long ago.
Well,
Damn.
the good news is that we don't talk about anything relevant ever, so it's brilliant. I mean, we sometimes talk about video games. That's occasionally, at any rate.
It's true. It's true.
Really about it. Really about it. The returning guest today, we've had him on before. We actually had a 3-man show in which I believe Jesse was horribly outnumbered by talk about top trumps and British foods.
Sons
It's-
of bitches.
A fire alarm as well, if I recall, wasn't it? A smoke alarm.
I think that might have been the fire alarm show. I can't remember which. I think there was a couple of fire alarm shows. That was definitely one of them. Mr. Larry
I was
Bundy
gonna
Jr.
say I was definitely here for a fire alarm show,
Yeah, we've had a couple
but
of
I
those.
don't think I was on the one with Larry.
Mr.
No, you're
Larry
running
Bundy
away.
Jr., aka Guru Larry.
Hello.
Who's been around forever. He is 65 years of age.
Yes.
He was
He
doing
cut me in
YouTube
half
before
and counted
YouTube was
the rings.
YouTube.
Yes, I counted when it was. What was it before YouTube? There was a video channel, wasn't there, on the internet? You could upload.
Machinima?
No.
Google video?
No, it's sorry. No,
Was
it was
Goo-
before Google Video. You could upload. It's like file front.
AMV.org?
Oh, he
Front.
uploaded the videos to FileFront? Wow.
No,
okay.
not file. Oh, you could watch videos in Real Player on there.
Wow.
And I just remember all it was pictures, videos of people on skateboards falling over, and there wasn't any actual gaming stuff or anything. It's just horrible stuff, this fat kid falls over a swimming pool and stuff like that. It's just
That's still
absolutely
mostly what YouTube is. So
Yeah, no doubt about that. For those who don't know what you do, for some reason, I haven't encountered you in the many years that you've been on YouTube. What exactly do you do, and where do you do it?
I don't know what I actually do. I think I just sort of meander around trying to act like I'm popular and trying to most people doing that really. But no, I am over on youtube.com/Larry if you want to see me on there. I do retro video games mostly. I do sort of really obscure British games that are terrible, and I'm trying to go themes in that. So I'm going to be doing a theme on American Saturday morning cartoon shows from the 80s that I'm turning into video games over here and stuff like that. I'm doing a video on Thundercats at the moment. And also I am actually doing ones on movie mistakes as well, which is really popular for some reason.
If I recall correctly, you've done a couple of things with Ashens in the past, haven't you?
I have, yes. I'm like the Mike Mateo of Ashens, really. I'm just sort of hanging on to his popularity, just hopefully, go.
That might
but
be
yeah.
the best reference I've heard in a long time, dude. Wow. Take that, Mike. Bring him down a level.
Yeah, I just want to be popular like you, so I'm going to hang on to you vicariously like some sort of sucker fish, just hanging on there,
Well, such as the Blobfish, for instance, from the last time you were on.
Blobfish,
He was a wonderful guest. Bit silent, but, there's
was,
nothing
yeah.
unusual about that on the show.
No. No, but I do movie stuff really as well, and that's got really popular. I don't know why. I don't think there's too many people doing movie reviews on YouTube, really.
They can be a bit dicey these days. A lot of people.
Oh, they are. They're absolute universal. It took me the best part of a year to get my ad revenue back on my Back to the Future video because they're absolute Nazis.
Well, there you go.
Sorry.
I'm sure that'll make them more willing to cooperate with you in future.
Oh, they're bastards. Sorry. That's absolute horrible people. I mean, those people just moan at the beginning of the year about, there's copyright on sort of Nintendo claiming out. You ought to kiss the ground they walk on because they are absolute angels compared to these movie studios when it turns to copyright claims.
Yep, no doubt about that.
Sorry. Sorry, I just had to get off my chest now. I'm better now.
it's all good, dude.
Welcome to the Co-optional Podcast. We do occasionally talk about video games. Jesse, welcome to the show.
Hello, it's wonderful to be back.
How was your
nice-
trip?
I climbed a mountain. That's
How
my
did that
trip
go
was.
for you?
It turns out it's not nearly as bad as you would think until you start getting above 12,000 feet, in which case you might as well struggle to live, which is what you do. It was insane. The crazy thing was when you finally get to Machu Picchu, all it is stairs. Stairs up, stairs down, stairs on the edge of cliffs, stairs looking over cliffs, stairs that go to nowhere. It's horrifying. And our guide was just like jumping around, having a good time. My dad and I were like holding on for dear life, like, okay, we're gonna take this slow. It was fun. It was fun. Also, Peru has incredible food and very nice people. So I can't complain. Keep it up, Peru. You're doing it right.
Good job, Peru.
Yeah, just flatten the land a bit more.
Nailing it.
Oh yeah, no, screw you guys. You live.
You need to put elevators on your mountains, you horrible
Their
people.
biggest tourist city is above 12,000 feet. That's insane. It's Cusco, by the way, just like the movie, the Disney movie
The
character.
protagonist of the movie. Yeah.
So it's wonderful. I do have pictures with llamas, chat, so that'll be up eventually. I need to make a video. I don't know how to make a video of that footage. It's weird,
Never
but
stopped
it's nice
you before.
That's true. That's true. It'll have zero context or convex. I don't
Just
know.
like the Belgium video.
Yep. So get ready for that. And that's it. That's it. I'm glad to be back and playing games. Games are much more fun than real life, guys. It's dangerous out there. All right. So that's it. Yeah. Hi.
Greetings. Dodger, welcome to the show.
Hi. Do I have anything interesting to say? Probably not.
It's never stopped you before.
No, I don't have anything interesting. There was a long conversation happened not too long ago where I was told that I needed to stop eating food that made chewing noises. So now I've been eating a lot of soup and yogurt on this show.
That makes slurping noises.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got to make you got to eat crunchy noises now, just to annoy him.
Nothing.
Just to rub it in.
Nothing makes me more happy than the food you decided to go with was white sticky goo. You're welcome, Internet. You finally got your way.
Both a wonderful source of protein, so I've been told.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. There's probably a scientific study to suggest that that's true. I'm fairly sure we know one way or the other at this point. Oh, dear God.
Gotta class
There's
this
the
show
end
up.
of it.
I was gone for a week. I gotta class it up, guys. Gotta bring us back on topic.
This is the equivalent of what I do in city building games when I make videos, and I just create the roads just slightly to an angle and ignore that fact and just leave them like that. And that causes unfathomable rage. This is wonderful. I love it. Absolutely brilliant. It's a great joy of mine. One of the few joys to be found in this world.
TV's
Okay,
very
mate.
tired and kind
Yeah,
of upset
so-
with everything that exists.
Yeah, so let me tell you a little story, just to expand on what I said on Twitter. So, we have very good relations with the vast majority of PR companies because Chris is very, very good at his job, and we've been doing this for a long time. So, we spent the last 4 years convincing PR companies that we're actually worth our salt, that we won't break embargoes, that we won't be unprofessional, and that we won't lie about their games, although some of them would like us to. And as a direct result, we have been rewarded by being treated like a real person. Which is great. They'll actually give us review copies in the same way that they give sites like IGN review copies, which is great.
Egan.
Yeah. Wow, did someone really subscribe to my channel just to call me an asshole? Jeez. Oh, thanks for the $5. I mean, to be fair, I think that's a viable business model. I could charge everyone that wants to insult me $5. I mean, that's basically what Casey Trump does, right?
I'll do it for $4.
Fucking undercutting me. God, what do you think you're worth,
$4.99.
Jesse? What do you think you're worth? Not a penny over $2.99. I tell you that. Anyway, so yes, we convinced them that we're real people and that we deserve to.
Hard PRs for you guys over there, then.
It's surprisingly difficult with some companies. We still haven't got Activision to play ball. We can't figure out how. It's not like we don't know the PR companies that handle them. It's just Activision completely ignores YouTubers in a really, really big way. So I don't know what's up with that.
I've noticed is that in this, I mean, you guys would know better than me, but it seems like European PR is much more friendly and sociable with actual gamers, at least from what I've seen, because I'll see people get PR copies I'm like, I don't even know who that person is. And here I am struggling to get like American copies, and they're like, no, go F yourself. It's like,
I've seen like gamers from Sweden with only like 20 subscribers on YouTube, and they've been given debug consoles, stuff like that.
Jesus. Well, I mean, you should also consider that you remember the recent thing with Ubisoft giving away those Nexus 7s, and apparently it was mostly the European journos that ran off with them, and the Americans refused them. Apparently, it's just a difference in culture. A lot of European journos don't think that stuff is bad at all. Whereas American journalists would be like, you're trying to bribe me, what the hell? No, we're never going to do that. We've had mixed kind of relationships with the EU guys. I know, like, there's some companies where I have a lot of luck with the UK guys, and we're best buds with them. And then sometimes it's the American organization, sometimes the guys in France or whatever. But what we were told about Wolfenstein, the new Wolfenstein game that came out today, is that we could get code, but we couldn't get PC code, because they tried to get the PC code done in time, and apparently they couldn't do it for the review code. So it's like, well, we can offer you PlayStation 4. Like, you know what? No, I'll just wait for the thing to come out. I'll buy it, and I'll put it out a bit later. But
PS4 version is upscale PS3 game.
Yes, I'm told.
Can I just say that?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Can I start a conspiracy theory here? And I feel like it's real and true. Like all conspiracy theories.
Here we go.
I'm convinced of this. Gaming companies, a vast majority of them, especially big AAA titles, I have seen recently when I've tried to get like press copies or things like that, they're almost always like, a lot of PC issues happening right now, but we can give you a PS4 copy. Yeah. And I feel like that's not true at all. They just want you to play it on PS4 or Xbox One rather than PC, because there's some sort of backdoor shenanigans going on there, and they want those consoles promoted.
So there's a much easier explanation that doesn't involve the craziness, right?
I prefer the craziness.
Here's the much easier explanation. It is far more likely that something will go wrong with the PC review copy, and that the reviewer will then go and blame the game for something that's actually a fault with their PC. Whereas with a console, it's a very controlled environment. You know that each one is going to perform the same, so they would ideally love everyone to play it on console, because there's less chance of stuff going to shit. That's actually why they do it.
Or
that and
aliens.
I was going to say they might have gimped it for the PC version, so it's not looking. They've based it for the console version, like the PC's an afterthought.
I don't know if they really do that anymore. It certainly was at one point, and there are some companies that still do GIMP versions for PC. Tennessee Warriors 8. But outside of that, I don't think that's actually that common anymore. There's an issue with piracy as well. Even though it's often you just get Steam keys, it's still possible that you'll take the code, you'll leak it, someone will then be able to crack it prior to launch and all that kind of stuff. So there's those issues as well. But anyway, back to the point at hand. They said no, we can't do it. And then 10 hours before embargo date, which for those who don't know is the date that is the date and time you can publish your review or footage or preview or whatever, and everyone's pretty much aiming to hit that, because if you're later than that, then you could say goodbye to a good portion of your view count, because people will go elsewhere. That's how competitive it is. And yeah, they said, oh yeah, we do have a PC code for you. I'm like, you what? So I got a PC code 10 hours before the embargo, while working on my Transistor video, while also having to take Kiddo over to his middle school because he wants to be part of band. So they have what's called a mouthpiece night, which is not, in fact, some kind of political propaganda thing, nor is it as sexual as you believe. Mouthpiece night, yeah. It's where all the kids go in and they try the different kind of mouthpieces of the instruments to see what's more suited to them, and to see what they immediately have an affinity with, and then you end up with that's the instrument you got to play. So
that sounds like the most germ-filled.
They have so much hand sanitizing solution. Like they sanitize the thing after every single one. There's all sorts of things like that. But
I mean, they gotta, right?
Right.
Like
that. Yeah.
I was a parent and I brought my kid, and some child was like making out with this mouthpiece, and then the teacher was like, "You next, Billy." I'd be like, "No, Billy."
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. But yeah,
shake out the phlegm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hold on. Okay, you're good.
Well, Larry, you're apparently slightly too quiet. If you want to up your volume a little bit.
Am I?
Oh God! No, okay, maybe not now. Anyway, yeah. So that was that. That was supposed to take about half an hour. It ended up taking 2 hours because about 3 times the normal amount of people showed up for the blinking thing. So we were just sitting around hearing just the squeaks of kids trying to play clarinet or trumpet mouthpieces for hours. It was driving me insane. So I come back and I'm like, shit, I have got to hit this midnight embargo for Wolfenstein. I play as much of it as humanly possible. I cut it kind of right down to the wire, and I'm saying to myself, look, if I fuck this up, that's it. I might as well not put it out. I've got to do this in one take. Do it in one take, nail it for the most part. Seems okay. Do the edit, do the encode. encode it like it's super fast as well. Like I didn't even use my usual quality presets. I'm like, I can't. I've got to get it up quick. Upload the damn thing. The processing on YouTube just finishes at the embargo time, and it ends up going up in 360p. And then I've got to do the transistor video after that, and I'm just chugging coffee and eating donuts, and I woke up this morning and my body's like, what the fuck did you just do to me? You're not 18 anymore, you can't do that. Holy shit. So,
It's just in, TotalBiscuit, not 18 anymore.
No, indeed not.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Does the new Wolfenstein really remind you of Singularity?
Yes, it does. Very much so.
Thank you. I thought it was just me being neurotic. But
No, not at all.
It really feels like Singularity. I love Singularity.
Yeah, it's good that it feels like Singularity. That was a sad way for Raven to go in. So I guess we can start by... Someone actually in the chat is asking, is timing even important? Yes, it fucking is. Like, you get any traction on any of the social media sites or Twitter or anything like that, then you get a boost. You get a significant boost.
Be first.
You do. Like, and everyone else is going to beat you to it if you don't. I mean, my video's been up now for, let's see, about 12 hours, give or take. It's at 135,000 views, and that's
that all?
I mean, that's a good number for like 24 hours on a AAA. This I got in 12, so this one's going. This will be over 300K, I think, by the end of the month. Estimate.
Yeah, no, that's. Man, good for you.
Sorry, Jesse. Fuck. Yeah. So that's.
Yeah, man, 300K. That's so low, right, guys?
God,
Low.
GB, that's not your usual 1 million you get when you talk about how bad day you had.
The silence made it better.
You do need to have a virtual tumbleweed going past now.
Uh-huh.
All right. So
Sandwich.
So is that what we're talking about? Wolfenstein now? What are we talking about?
Yeah, I figure you guys should just talk about
We-
Wolfenstein. I haven't played it.
We could
so.
probably talk about
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein. We could absolutely
The
talk
floor
about that.
is yours.
Yes. So I was looking for this appropriate film clip of Woody Harrelson regarding the previous... Damn, that's the wrong one. Why isn't he crying into money?
Oh,
Oh well, never mind.
Oh,
I attempted the popular joke and failed.
it's okay. It's okay. We gave you time too.
I tried. That's
Scrooge McDuck. You could have just done the swimming through money.
I could
Scrooge.
have done that actually. Yeah, I really could have actually done that. And since we're a part of Disney now, I should have the rights to do so. I feel.
Yeah, they should be totally fine with it.
There we go. Yeah.
You're not allowed to call it Mauschwitz, though.
Oh Jesus.
Wow. Wow.
This is the YouTuber's burden right here that you can see going on. Okay, I can't play any more than that. It's probably copyright. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about Wolfenstein then, shall we? We'll go for Wolfenstein. I need a producer to find all this funny stuff. So first things first, the game's a fucking 40 gigabyte download. Jesus Christ.
Okay with that?
PS4 one's 5 gig.
What?
The PS4 version's a 5 gig download.
Is it?
Yes.
Huh, we've got a lot of uncompressed nonsense in there then. Interesting. But admittedly, it hasn't made the textures look all that much better, I would say.
I was about to ask that because I was going to be like, PC Master Race, am I right, guys? You get a bigger download, but if it doesn't actually look that much better, then that's
well,
kinda
it's
funny.
still a shitload better. I mean, it still looks a lot better than the console version, but even then, it's...
I was absolutely shocked that the PS4 version hasn't got upscaled textures on the walls. It is a PS3 game, out and out.
Yeah, that's what I heard about it.
It's not just shocking. It's they didn't even take the time to actually do anything special with it. It is a PS3 game. So
That can happen. Not even these days. That can just happen whenever there's a generation transition. You can often run into those problems where the port's just like, well, we can run it in 1080p 60. Did you bother to upscale the textures? What? No. All right then, but it's okay because it's a next gen title, so people are going to buy it anyway.
yeah, 10 quid more.
Yeah, that's justifiable, isn't it?
I think before we started today, I think we shouldn't bury the lead here. I mean, I, for one, enjoy the game a great deal, but even I will say that the graphics are very strange in that I mentioned earlier that medium and ultra, I see no difference. I mean, I'm sure there's subtle differences, but you would expect massive differences between medium and ultra. And spoiler alert, go watch my first video on the game. In that video, I made an edit where I went back and changed everything to ultra, and I'd like to ask you to find out where that cut was, because you won't be able
I'll
to
see
tell.
If I can find it.
You won't be able to tell. It's very, very strange. And I was just like, oh, okay, sure. And that sort of peeves me off for 40 gigs, 40.7 gigs or whatever it is.
Gotta be audio. It's gotta be audio that's taking all that space. It's the same as Titanfall. Titanfall was bloody huge for no reason, and then it ended up just being a bunch of uncompressed audio in about 17 different languages.
If you kill me, you're better. If I kill you, I'm better. Have you ever seen that in Titanfall? Oh, never mind.
No.
No, actually.
I just love the South African guy. We all keeps doing.
Oh yeah. It's like the bad guys are South Africans, which
Yeah.
is can be amusing from time to time because everyone mistakes them for British people, and it just isn't at all. I'm finding out what's causing the size of this. Actually, I'm heading over to my Steam apps folder to find my Wolfenstein. Where is it? Okay.
Another thing I've noticed is I'm playing a game on Uber difficulty. And it's actually really easy.
Yeah?
It's unbelievably easy.
I played it on the one above normal, and that was fine.
It hurt me plenty or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I've died a couple of times, but to be honest, I've died mostly because I fell down a pit, as opposed to anything else. It's not actually dying to enemies unless it's a moment where you're clearly not supposed to fight the enemy and supposed to run away. Like sometimes when you encounter a panzer hunt quite early, it's probably a case of you just didn't run fast enough and that killed you. But regular guys, they can hit you absolutely, but the health system in that game allows you to overcharge to ludicrous levels, so you can take bullets to the face like nothing.
Yeah.
So
plus you regen every 20%. So even if you take a little hit, you're back up to 100 or back up to 80 or whatever you're at. And then there's the health pack on the ground. It's like, well, 187, let's do this.
Yeah. They're really generous with the health packs in the game.
They are definitely. It's a health pack spamming game. Like you spam that E key to pick up as many health packs as possible. You can still eat the dog food, which is a nice little throwback to Wolfenstein 3D. Where you're able to do that. By the way, the most of the download is under virtual textures. 33 gigabytes of data under virtual textures.
Virtual textures.
Yes, bear in mind it is using the id Tech 5 engine, which has only been used before for Rage, which is probably explaining some of the weirdness. Not only the fact that it's supposedly not running well on AMD cards right now, because that game runs in OpenGL, which is notoriously not great for AMD cards. So a bunch of people's like, well, why didn't you report on the performance problems that the game has? I run an NVIDIA. I don't have any fucking performance problems.
Yeah, I don't have.
Same with Rage. Rage ran fine as well. So, since I did my video before the game came out, I didn't exactly have a basis for comparison. But, it looks okay. It's definitely not the best looking game ever, but it's serviceably.
It looks like Singularity. That's 4 years old.
Yeah. But I'm okay with it looking like Singularity, because Singularity is pretty good, outside of the crippling... it was the FOV issue with that, but you could hack that and fix it. Outside of that, though, Singularity was fucking great, and it was really sad that Raven went the way that it did. This does feel like a weird spiritual successor to what Raven had been doing, and Raven were...
Go buy Singularity, by the way. It's a great game.
You actually should. It is... Singularity is really underrated. It's one of, I think, the last for a while of at least a few years of more old school style shooters with a few modern eccentricities, and it had some fun stuff in it. It was by Ravensoft, who are responsible for a lot of really good games, like they did Heretic and Hexen. They did Star Trek Elite Force, which was really good. They did Solar of Fortune. They did Quake 4. They did Wolfenstein 2009, which I liked an awful lot. They also did Jedi Knight 2, which was fucking brilliant, and Jedi Academy. So they have a laundry list of great stuff. It's sad, because all that's left of Ravensoft now, a bunch of guys that basically do some work on the Call of Duty multiplayer on the side now, and that's it. And it's so sad.
That is sad.
It really is depressing.
Who are these machine games then?
They are ex Starbreeze, so they're ex Chronicles of Riddick, they're ex Darkness. Like, you remember the original Darkness before Darkness 2 was given to Digital Extremes. Those are the guys that did that. And you can tell, you can feel it in there.
Just listen to the rhythm of your heart.
No, not that Darkness. No.
I'm sorry, what?
Thankfully not that Darkness at all.
I'm feeling a thing called love.
Please stop. That song was overplayed for fucking years in the UK. It was
That song
insufferably
is so
terrible.
good.
No.
Yeah.
That band disappeared with
Now
good
it's my head.
reason.
Oh, we got. Now the last thing about him, he went on.
Please stop. Please
He went,
stop.
went on for the.
Oh, fuck.
You're welcome.
Down.
Are you quite fucking finished?
Yeah.
Thank
The
you.
last I heard that the guy from the Darkness, he was doing an audition to be on Eurovision, and he got kicked out of the finals, and he had a face like smacked ass. So I always remember that's the last time I ever saw of him.
Yeah, it's like a real band with like a #1 single gets rejected for Eurovision.
Well, that's
Did any of us watch Eurovision, by the way?
I went back and watched it all because once I saw
haven't
the winner,
watched
I
it
was like,
yet.
I'm in. It's always
I know.
been great, and I would recommend if you don't want to watch it all, go find the clip from John Oliver's new show on HBO where he talks about the Russian and Ukraine entries.
Last week tonight.
Yes,
It's a good.
Oh
That's
my
actually
God,
a
is
very
that
fun
the-
show. Yeah.
It's the funniest bit I've seen in a while. Literally, Ukraine and Russia's entries are basically songs about Ukraine and Russia just like hating each other, but veiled. And Russia's song is like, "We are going to take you over." Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So go watch that.
What do
Go
you
find
mean,
that on the
Jesse?
internet.
It's a song about love.
It's
Russia's
two girls
song-
with their hair braided
about
together.
love.
It's nuts.
Just
Nuts.
listen to the rhythm of the heart. Back to Wolfenstein. I like it a lot. It's a really, really dumb fucking game. And
I like it better than the last Wolfenstein.
yeah, and I liked the
Agreed.
last Wolfenstein. It was pretty good.
It's not as fun as Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
No. I think just in terms of level design, the level design isn't as good as Return to Castle Wolfenstein was. But
And the
that's
multiplayer,
multiplayer, yes. I mean, no one's gonna fuck with the multiplayer of that game. That was
It's
incredible.
the only game they ever have got on the medic class right in a multiplayer game. Like,
Yeah.
you need a medic to live. You don't need one just to respawn quicker,
Yeah.
which is like fucking screw up in every single other first-person shooter. That's what I don't like
Yeah,
about
I used to
medic.
play a medic. That was my guy. That was my class in Return to Castle Wolfenstein and in
Everybody loves
Wolfenstein
you if you're a
Inventory.
medic. You're like,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like royalty.
Well, you leveled up really fast as well, so it's like, hey, I got the dual pistols and all this other shit. And like, they never did you just leveled up in the game, and then whenever you went on the next map, it reset your level, unless it was like one of the mini campaigns that they did. But there's no multiplayer in Wolfenstein: The New Order, none whatsoever. It's purely a single player game.
And one of the things that I actually really, really like about it is you would think it would be sort of, because it's story driven, you think it'd be sort of a straightforward, this is how you're going to do it. There's multiple ways of doing things in the game that I was unprepared for. Like, even in the first level, there's like 3 ways to get in the bunker. I was like, what? And I thought that was really nice that it wasn't just like, all right, follow the story. It's a story game, so you got to get to where the Nazis are taking over, so just follow the path. There's like multiple ways of doing it. I was really thrilled by that. So
Non-linear gameplay, the future of video games.
right, it's insane that I'm like impressed by that now. Like,
I can go
Yeah.
there and right. My
It's-
God.
It's sad. It's so very sad that people are impressed by that. The level design in that game, it's okay, but there's a lot of corridor shooting, there's a lot of linearity in it. It's not as good as Return to Castle Wolfenstein's level design. I haven't encountered a level yet that's as impressive as... Larry, do you remember the farm level in Wolfie 2009? Where it's like, oh, I'm on a mission on a farm, look at this. And then you find this elevator... And then you go down to, like, suddenly huge underground Nazi research base. Like, you come down, the scale of this thing is massive. Like, whoa! What an incredible level. I haven't encountered anything like that yet. Although, even, like, the very scripted opening sequence is actually quite impressive, where you're in the bomber fleet on the way to Death's Head's Island.
that was
That's
awesome.
It's scripted bullshit, but it's some impressive
It was
scripted
awesome.
bullshit. So
The fact that in the first 5 minutes, it's like, fuck it, we're jumping from a plane to
Onto another plane.
I was like, yes.
and then
is
this
what I
other
need.
plane crashes into that plane, and all this other
Complete-
stupid shit.
And the
Surrealism.
stereotypical Scotsman. Because
Oh yeah, he just called him Glasgow. Oi, Glasgow!
yeah, you wee jammy bastard.
You Nazi killing jammy bastard. I'm sorry, I've turned more into a Geordie there. That's what I do every time I do it.
Why,
You
hey, man.
Nazi killing jammy bastard, like.
I'll tell Jeff Man on you. Bite Grove.
Biker Grove.
And that I think is, I love that about this game. I mean, they know going in, like, yeah, so it's 1960s Nazis. So already you're suspending a little belief, and they're like, F it. We're going to just go crazy with it.
They do.
I love everything about that. I think it's great.
There's some really cool sequences in that also don't involve shooting as well. There's one fairly early on, I don't want to spoil it, but it involves an automatic coffee machine, which ends up being a really cool sequence. And there's no shooting in it whatsoever, but it's really, really kind of neat. And outside of that, there's a lot of fucking shooting.
Nice torture scene as well at the beginning.
Oh, yeah,
If,
there is, yeah.
If you haven't seen
Quite a few of them.
I mean, you can. It's been out for a long time now, but I would say if you want to see an example of a scene that has no real action, go find the video clip of when you're being interrogated by
Dessa?
what the hell is her name?
Oh, someone else. Okay.
The evil blonde.
No,
woman.
that's the one I was talking about. I think I didn't
Yeah.
want to talk about it because it kind of ruins the surprise of that whole sequence.
Oh, all right, yeah.
but
Like,
yeah,
Oh,
that-
thank you. Thank you.
go watch that. It's been out for a year, that scene. So go watch that and you can see exactly what you're getting into with the game. It's fantastic. I was like, I like that they have sort of a Tarantino level of tension going throughout much of the scenes in the game.
Yeah, that's actually what I got out of that. I got a very Inglourious Bastards vibe out of that particular
Oh, it's
scene.
very glorious bastards again.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely someone just posted it in there like Obersturmbannführer Engel. It's like that's an awkward name. Also, speaking of great, the German Beatles. That's in there.
Yes.
The German Beatles.
I think that might be one of
That's
my most favorite
hilarious.
parts of the game is because they did what I think BioShock did very well is they made a soundtrack for their world using things that are familiar to us. And this game did the exact same thing. They made all the popular 50s and 60s songs into German versions, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, there's you hear very early
Sounds
on a
amazing.
German version of House of the Rising Sun. I found
With like a polka version of it. It's really great.
Yeah. The one of the albums for this guy is that band is something like Das Blue U-Boat instead of like Yellow Submarine.
Yes.
And it's good shit. Like you can collect them and they're things that you find in the world, which is like it's a reason for you to explore. You to find all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, outside of all of that stuff, it is about dual wielding assault rifles and gunning down fucking Nazi robots in large numbers.
Feels good.
It does.
Feels
Somebody
good.
says, is there any comparison to Time Shift as well? I don't think so.
Yeah, but it's good.
Is there? Oh, okay.
Someone mentioned Time Shift to me when I said I don't think anyone else has done the alt history thing right, and it's like, what about Time Shift? It's like Time Shift was not a very good game. It had a great idea behind it, but it was rubbish. So there's that problem. But outside of that,
you can't really go wrong with what if the Germans won the Second World War. I mean,
yeah, you can do also. Well,
apart
apparently you
from
can.
Turning Point, Fall of Liberty.
Yeah, I was going to say, other than every other game that did that, yeah, you absolutely can't go wrong with it.
And what was the one with the Russians as well?
Iron Storm?
IO Interactive made. And everybody wants to make a sequel.
Oh, fuck. No, Freedom Fighters.
Freedom Fighters, a brilliant game that is.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah,
Freedom Fighters was basically Red Dawn the game, but not terrible like Homefront. So
No.
Oh no! Now I'm gonna be looking. You guys, the fact that you brought up Russia, now I'm gonna be, as I keep playing Wolfenstein, now I'm gonna be really concerned. Like, hold on, what is Russia doing in this timeline?
Oh, you
'Cause I feel like-
find out very early. They get completely fucked. Like once you get to the first hub area,
never mind.
there's
Yeah,
this
all right, never
giant
mind.
board of newspaper
never mind.
articles that tell you about how everything went down. Obviously, I don't want to spoil it for you, but the Nazis won the war, so obviously Russia lost. But yeah, it's all in there. It's worth reading all those news articles as well because they're really well written and they give you this nice perspective and they world build it very effectively.
My favorite part is in the very first thing that you do when you're on the plane and you're being attacked. There's just a news article, and while the guy's like, BJ, need to go do this, it's like, hold on,
I
sir.
want to read the news article.
There's a news article right
It's
here
like,
that I'd like
there's
to
a
read.
fire in Fuel Pump 7. It's like, I just want to read this bit of lore first, if you don't mind.
Hold on. There's a book over here I'd like to read. Yeah, it's very weirdly placed, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think Wolfenstein's pretty good. I think it's going to be a hard sell to some people. Some people's like, oh no, multiplayer, not worth $60 then. It's always amusing to see what people think is worth $60. Wasn't it like last month we're saying, no single player, not worth $60 then for Titanfall.
What do you get? Wait for it to go down in price and buy a Titanfall. Then you get multiplayer and single player.
Yeah, there you go. They both got robots in them.
Yes.
But
Both got South Africans, which are, like...
There's no South Africans in Wolfenstein.
in Titanfall.
He's just in. Larry compares South Africa to Nazi Germany.
Apartheid, segregation.
It's a fair point. Apartheid was pretty shitty.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that
IKEA.
Wolfenstein at least has going for it is that the ads are really, really cool. Like the way they're marketing the game
the trailers?
is very
Yeah,
cool. Yeah. And I think that they have that going for them. There's a little buzz behind the game. I would like to bring up the advertisements for another game that was released today, Transistor, because I feel like they're doing the exact opposite. And maybe this is just me. I actually wrote this down because I watched the launch trailer and immediately had this opinion. Because here's the thing. Universally, everyone's like, Transistor's fantastic. Everyone's just like, holy shit, this game's amazing.
Not everybody.
Well, but the thing that I think is interesting, though, is that the way they're selling it, even if it's a great game, I don't know how many gamers are going to be drawn to it that aren't already on the, like, Bastion was great bandwagon, so I want to see what the next, super giant game's going to be. Because looking at all the trailers and all the things that have come out for it, I honestly, this is what I wrote down. I was like, it reminds me of an ad for Samurai Champloo on Adult Swim, right? It has like
This is a
mix
reference
of,
I
like,
don't get in any way.
It's an anime series. It's a bit
Samurai
like a poor
Champloo,
man.
best anime ever.
Samurai
favorite anime.
Shampoo? What?
Samurai Champloo. Just
Favorite
it doesn't
anime
matter
ever.
what about the show.
Do they
It doesn't
have
matter-
Ronin conditioner by any chance?
Imagine Adult Swim ads in like the early 2000s that are literally you have like some over attempt to be very hip and cool. And so you have like this like sort of beatboxy jazzy music in the background. You have little like flashes of character design and then a voiceover that's like, shit's happening and you've got to solve it. And it's everything about it is trying very, very hard to be super cool. And it reminded me of when Ubisoft was like, Child of Light, we're going to try very, very hard to be indie. And it's like, you're selling it too hard as an indie game. Like, it's going to have piano music only, and look at the visuals. It's like it's drawn, right? And all the dialogue's poetry. Like, they tried very hard to get, like, that indie cred feel. This feels like, at least from the trailers, it's all, this game's too fucking cool for you. You just don't even get it. It's so cool. And when you look at the trailers, literally all it is like, designs of like the launch trailer. There's more character select screen and character like item screen than actual gameplay. And then at the end, the last thing you see is 10 seconds of an elevator. And it's like, what are they trying to sell in this trailer?
That's the same shit they pulled with Bastion's trailer.
I was gonna say, I remember not liking Bastion's trailer either.
Yeah, and I'm like, how do you intend to sell a game? I guess word of mouth.
Yes.
But
yeah.
I mean,
that's almost all you need for it. Like, people are hyped about Transistor. The audience that they want for Transistor is hyped about Transistor. Yeah? Because of Bastion. And when Bastion first came out, by the way, Bastion was not, like, really hugely well received initially. It actually got a lot of 7s. It got a lot of, yes, it's pretty good for a first-time studio. And then later on, it turned into like, holy shit, this was Game of the Year, when people kind of realized it. It's almost like some of those people that reviewed the game might not have finished it. It's a possibility.
Oh, nonsense.
But regardless, I think it's the same thing that's coming down with Transistor as well. There are plenty of people that are giving it very high scores and very high reviews. Then there are others saying, this is good. Could have been even better. Could have been great. I think it'll be divisive to some degree, certainly. The combat system and the way that they focus on loadout is very untraditional. Whereas with Bastion, you can say, this was a really pretty game with a great narration system, and it's a more traditional kind of action adventure, yeah? You've got weapons, you shoot shit, you roll to dodge shit, you've got a shield. That's what Bastion was in a nutshell. This is like, there's a lot of, this whole combat system feels really abstract. Even the enemies you're fighting feel very abstract. And Dodger may have been raising her hand, but I'm not sure.
Isn't Transistor supposed to be like way shorter than Bastion too?
It is a bit shorter, yeah. It's about 5. I think an online was saying it'd been in about 4.5 hours. It's about
a lot of
5
people are saying,
to 5.5, 6 maybe at most.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying like, oh, it's a 6-hour game. That's good though. But most people that I've seen play it are like, dude, I beat it in hour 4. So, I mean, I
think you probably could do that if you didn't do any of the side challenges that they give you in the sandbox. But that's a similar situation to Bastion. You could have avoided all of the stuff in that too, and you could have just cracked through all the story missions immediately and not messed around with anything. If you do,
what's the point of that though? I don't understand.
Oh, what, just blitzing through it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is that those side missions don't have any story with them, so you can argue that the only reason.
Yeah.
A lot of people are now calling Supergiant this big kind of narrative game company. I think with in my opinion, with Transistor, it proves that they're not, because they have an excellent narrative throughout their game, but they also have like a set of really in-depth mechanics, whereas Bastion was just like, shoot shit, hit it with a hammer, dodge and roll. There's a cool guy with a gruff voice narrating what you're doing.
Yeah.
That was the way that Bastion kind of rolled there. And
He
I
doesn't
think
have a great voice though.
he does, and of course he's in Transistor as well, although he's doing a little bit of a different thing. In Transistor, he's not playing the same role, and some might not gel with him as well. It's weird. It's almost like seeing an actor that's famously typecast into one role somewhere else. Like, I'm sorry, I can't watch Jonathan Frakes in anything other than Next Generation now. Some actors got away with it, and everyone else, I'm like, fuck, that guy's old Data or old Riker or anything like that. I can't do it. I can't handle it anymore, unless you happen to be Mr. Jean-Luc Picard. But I think it's the same situation with his voice. You became so familiar with it throughout the whole thing, and then now he's playing a different character. He's playing a character on his own. He's a companion to you. He's not narrating your story after the fact. He's in the story. He's with you, and he has no fucking choice. He's stuck in a sword, for fuck's sake, which is an unfortunate situation for anybody to be in. It's weird. It takes a lot of getting used to, but once I got into it, and I think it took me about an hour to really start gelling with it, because I think the game explains itself terribly at the start. It just drops you right in it. It doesn't really explain the combat system all that well at all, and then it's like, start combining abilities and doing all this stuff. Like, I don't know what's happening, what's going on, and then I got into it, and I'm enthralled by it now. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous game. Really well designed. One of the best looking games I think that's ever been made from a visual aesthetic standpoint.
Very Syndicate looking.
Yes, actually, yeah. Also, the spiritual sequel that's coming out to that, Satellite Rain. It's the neon, I think, is what really gives it that feel. It's got this really nice neon effect, but they use a lot of pastel colors as well, and the combination really works. It is. Has anyone else actually played it yet?
No. I started playing it. And that's why I'm like, it's great. I just don't know, I just think the way that they're marketing it is awful. And
probably.
I imagine that will be detrimental to them. But if word of mouth can help Bastion, maybe it can help this. But it's just,
Bastion
I don't
didn't
like
have any hype behind it, really.
Yeah, I don't like beautiful games. I don't like games that are really, really good, not getting, I feel like they should get their fair share. But at the same time, those ads are awful. Just the worst. I hate them so much. I'm like, this is garbage. I would not, if I had this to go on alone, I'd be like, what is this shit? Which is what most gamers have, is that to go on, is an ad they saw once on the internet.
Maybe that's half of the idea, is that they want you to go into this thinking that looks really interesting, the art style's really cool, I have no idea what it's about, and I want to find out, so I'm going to go play the game.
But if an ad doesn't create a sense of intrigue, then it doesn't have that effect.
Yes, that's true. The question is, I wonder, whether it does create that sense of intrigue for a lot of people, or whether it's just going to be a hit or miss in terms of its marketing.
Yeah.
Not really sure, but I like Transistor a lot. I really do. I think it's got a lot of soul to it. It certainly, as far as I'm concerned, demonstrates that Supergiant and not a one-trick pony.
I gotta say, the name is quite misleading. It sounds more like some sort of indie puzzle game or something.
It does, yeah. It's a bit of a weird name, certainly. There's no real doubt about that. But I love the world it's set in. Like it's not very good at giving you a lot of answers, and I think that's good. Like it's setting up. It almost feels like
I'm pissed now. I don't want to play this game anymore.
Well, there's a lot of lore for you to read. You'll probably be able to figure out a lot more stuff than I do, because I don't pay too much attention to that. But it doesn't feel the need to force like elements of the world down your throat. Whereas in Bastion, it feels like exposition. We've got to tell you about this world. We've got to describe it as much as possible, and that's the role of the narrator. Here, they just kind of let it ride, really, and they just say, okay, this is the world you're in. If you want to investigate more about it, go and read some more news reports, go read the lore. That every one of your abilities has lore, because every one of your abilities is actually like a person, as it were, and the more you use that ability in different slots, the more lore you unlock about that person. So, and that's all completely optional, which is pretty cool. I don't have any idea what you're saying. Some anime bullshit, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I said it's like Noragami. Noragami is an anime where all of your accessories and weapons and everything that you use is a spirit of a person.
Okay.
Holy shit. That sounds...
Noragami did it first.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's great. I think there's perhaps a little bit of the good old, hey, yeah, we're going to be overly critical perhaps of this title because Bastion ended up being an indie darling, and it's good to knock them down a peg or two. Wouldn't want to get them too proud and impetuous about their work. But
are you bringing up Fez there? Are you referring to Fez?
Yep. That's exactly what I'm referring to, that and a few other things. But I like it a lot, and I might even go as far as to say I like it more than Bastion, simply because the combat system has a shitload more depth in it. Even though maybe some might argue it's slightly weaker in the narrative, and it doesn't explain as much as Bastion does. It's good.
Interesting.
It's very good. And that's out for PC right now, actually. It's also on PS4.
Yeah,
Is it on Xbox
today.
One yet? Yeah, it came out today. It's not on Xbox One yet, is it? Or am I wrong there?
Oh, Xbox One.
Oh, they got Super Time Force, so they don't get to complain. That's a game I actually want to play. Yeah, it's PS4 and PC as the release for Transistor right now. It'll probably come to Xbox eventually. It's a weird turn of events, really, considering Bastion originally came out on 360 as part of the Summer of Arcade, and now there's been a big switcheroo. I suppose that the folks over at Sony, I think there was a parity issue, if I recall correctly, that prevented them from releasing it on Xbox One at the same time, but it's nice to see it on PC coming out the same day as console, because we had to wait months for Bastion on PC, and that was kind of annoying. Has anyone actually played Super Time Force? I have to ask.
No.
I don't know what that is.
Wait, yes, I did. Yes, I did play Super Time Force.
Tell me about Super Time Force, because I actually want to turn on my Xbox One to play that, and that's a big step for me.
Tell us.
I didn't get to play a super ton of it, but it's very
Are you telling me you
silly.
didn't have enough time?
To force it
Did you?
into oh, that's the name. Time.
Stop.
Never mind. There's nothing
Stop it
else.
right now.
It's cool in that there are 3 different characters that you get to play, and you can swap between them, and they all have different, like, their guns all have different abilities. And if you fail at something, then you can go back in time and swap back, and you can switch characters, and then you can line up your body with the after image of the other character, and then have like double the power and like weird stuff like that. The art style is really cute, and the way that everybody talks is super silly. The time jokes are constant. There are constant time jokes. But I don't know. It was fun. It's not a game that I would play a whole lot of, honestly. But it's just like it's a side-scrolling shooter, with a weird reverse time effect.
Yes.
So
just one of those things that ended up, for some reason, just being on Xbox One first. I think that there was a bit of almost like an indie draft, I felt, between the two companies. Like, all right, we're going to divide up the indies because God knows we're not going to have any AAAs for a while, so we better get some games on our machine. And those guys ended up getting Super Time Force, and then Transistor ended up being on PlayStation 4. So, and then, of course, Peggle 2 ended up on Xbox One. In a weird turn of events.
The game is so weird. It like starts off with the scientist who created time travel, and he's like, I did it, I created time travel. And then the you of the future like comes back in time and is like, I'm a general now and you suck. I'm the cool one now. And like shows you his super time force. Basically, the guys that you're playing are under the command of the douchey version of the scientist that created time travel.
Okay.
So at the beginning of the game, he's like, I created time travel and now all of these horrible things that have happened, we can reverse them and I'm so happy. And then like himself from the future comes back and is like, whatever. I've got all of these awesome dudes and they're going to go shooting stuff. You're just like, what? It's super weird. But I don't know. A lot of people seem to like it. So it's not a game that I would spend a whole lot of time on, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'll pick it up. It looks like it's right up my alley. There's nonsense going on in many, many ways in this title by the looks of it. So
yeah.
I'm all about a bit of Super Time Force. I will grab that on Xbox One. At least give me a reason to use the bloody thing. God knows I don't have enough reasons for that. What else has been going on? What else have we been playing?
We've been playing Dawngate a lot.
Yeah, we're still playing Dawngate.
But nothing's really changed with that. We've just been playing a lot of Dawngate.
No. I still play Renzo, and it's great. I still try to play King of Masks, and I'm terrible at him, because he's fucking difficult.
I was instructed...
Why are you guys playing Dawngate?
Because we like playing Dawngate.
It's fun.
Rosie. It's fun.
I'm really bad at MOBAs, and I think that Dawngate's really fun.
When did this start?
For me, Sam was playing it, and then Sam was like, you should try out Dawngate. I think you'd really like it. And I was like, lol, I'm really bad at MOBAs. And then I started playing it, and it was really fun. I don't know, it's got a lot of mechanics that make it a lot...
I'm waiting for Jesse to say what I think he's going to say. This is going to be interesting.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious.
Yes.
When the sellout leaves the podcast, that doesn't mean you guys have to step up and take my place. It just means that you don't have a sellout on the podcast anymore.
Right.
I'm just curious. I all I know is when I was in Peru, I was every once in a while when I finally got internet, I'd look on Twitter and it would just be like you and Krendor and TV and Sam and just everyone like, so we're all streaming Dawngate live right now. Come watch us. Like this. What is happening?
You know what's funny
Dawngate?
is earlier TV and I were laughing about how so many people have been like, oh man, if you're playing an EA game, you've got to be selling out. There's no other reason for you to be playing an EA game.
No, it's not like EA games are enjoyed by millions of people in the world. No, absolutely not. We must be selling out. That's got to be the case. I always find that amusing because there's no way in a million years that the people that have said stuff like that have ever not played an EA game. It's like, yeah, such bastards. Like, so when can I pre-order Mass Effect 4? Like, you know for a fact as soon as EA publishes something that they like, their morals go out the fucking window.
I can't say anything. I still play Battlefield 4 regularly, so I have no ground
and
to
that
stand on.
shit's super broken.
Yeah, I have no ground to stand, but still...
Actually,
I was just like,
here's the weird thing about Dawngate is they actually put an affiliate program in after we started streaming it because they realized it might be a good idea. So it's like, I signed up to that affiliate program because they made the affiliate program about a week and a half after I made my WTF is video. So like, why the fuck not? I enjoy playing the game. Might as well make a few extra dollars. Let's go.
Yeah, they've offered it to me too. I haven't signed the thingy yet. But.
Yeah, there's just that group of us that play. We play quite a bit with the devs. It's me, Krendor, Sam, and Dodger play quite a bit. Like I said, it's a good amount of fun. I like what it brings new to the formula. I think it's just sufficiently different.
For me, it just makes it. I don't know. It has elements to the mechanics that make it a lot easier to understand what you're supposed to do as a support. Because I always play support and I've never entirely understood what I'm supposed to do. And because of like the tactician element to it and all of that, I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to harass those guys. Oh, like it suddenly makes so much sense. So
yeah, it's actually kind of genius when you think about the role system in that game. It's a great way of teaching you because when you pick that role, And for those who don't know, you pick your character and then you pick one of 4 roles. Those roles give you buffs and tell you at the start of the game, it's like, look, you're going to get 20 gold every time you hit an enemy champion. And it's on like a 3 or 4 second cooldown. And also, you're going to get bonus gold for stuff that dies around you. But you're not going to get bonus gold for last hitting. Not bonus gold. You still get more gold for last hitting, but you're going to get bonus gold for being kind of around the fight and helping out. Yeah? And as a result, you're like, oh, great. Well, I want that bonus gold, so I'm going to harass the shit out of that guy. And I'm going to protect my guy, and I'm going to make sure that he gets his last hits. If you play a Gladiator, it's like you're going to get 200% gold every time you get the last hit on something. You play a Predator, it's like you're going to get a bunch of extra gold if you hunt down and kill an enemy champion. But if you assist against an enemy champion, you also get bonus gold. All that kind of thing. Learning a game like that is difficult, I think, for someone that's never played one before. Once you get the idea of like Dota or League of Legends, you can pretty much play all of them. But Dawnguard, I think, does a better job of teaching people, which is weird because it doesn't have a tutorial, which is obviously a massive oversight, and they need to sort that out. But it does the role system means that you get into your role and you play properly easier than you would otherwise. You don't spend 50 games wandering around like, I have no idea what I'm doing. What am I supposed to do? Holy shit.
You know EA's in trouble when all the comments about like getting in Dawnguard are like, does it require Origin?
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Which is says a lot about your program, EA.
People don't want to install Origin.
You need an Origin account, but you don't need the Origin client.
Yeah.
So you don't have to open up that bullshit.
It's easy enough. The chances are you already have an Origin account anyway.
I feel like Dodger and I we've been through a war together.
So
yeah,
with Dead Space? Yeah, don't fucking blame you.
It never worked. Never. There's times where Origin has literally been like, this game doesn't exist. I was like, what do you... I own it. What do you mean it doesn't exist?
Yep.
And so you have to like literally delete everything and reinstall everything. Just a crock.
Origin keeps asking me to change my password every 5 minutes. It's driving me bloody nuts. For some reason, I don't know why. Yeah, keeps. Well, I use it on my iPad as well. I got things like Simpsons tapped out and stuff like that, and it keeps.
Get out of here! Get out of here, Bundy! Get out of here!
Now that's not even a game, Larry. You know that. You know that's bullshit.
It's boredom. It's just tapping. I know. It's just you got. I don't want
brainless. It's brainless.
I don't want to. I just want to see how far I can get without paying any money.
Yeah, I know. Jen took Dungeon Keeper as a challenge for that. She's like, fuck this. This game's terrible, so I'm going to play a bunch of it to prove that I can without giving them money. I'm like, this is stupid. Stop. Like, you're buying into it.
It's so fun to see whether or not you can just beat the game without spending any money. And it takes a while, but when you beat it, you're like, suck it. I didn't give you any money. It's great.
Yep. But you still invested a shitload in it, and you're more likely to download the sequel as a result.
The time you spent doing it, you could have been doing literally anything else.
I mean, if you make a rule for yourself, it's like the rule that I gave myself when I was playing Persona 4, and I was worried that Persona 4 was going to take over my life, and I gave myself the rule, I will only ever play this game when I'm in bed trying to fall asleep. You just make that same rule for yourself. Because the only other thing you should be doing is sleeping. Did you ever actually finish
Persona 4?
I didn't completely finish it, though.
Big surprise! That's why your rule sucks.
I got really close to the end, and then I was like, this is really hard right now. I got to this area where I was just fighting the same thing over and over and over and over again. I got so frustrated, and I couldn't figure out how to get through there.
That's what they are. Fighting the same thing over and over again. Rhymes.
Uh-huh. It was good. You should be in Child of Light.
Yeah, I was going to ask Jesse to tell me about Child of Light, but what we're going to do is take a short break. And when we come back, we can talk a little bit more about the games we've been playing, then we can go on to the news, like the fact that Twitch is about to die. Be eaten by a giant beast of the depths.
Lol.
We'll find out after the break, folks. You're watching the Crucial Podcast. Don't go anywhere. Or else.
Sandwich.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-Optional Podcast. Of course, you just heard the sounds, if you listen to the live stream, of Darren Korb's soundtrack to Transistor, which is damn good. No doubt about that. It's actually available right now over on Supergiant Games' Bandcamp. I strongly recommend you pick it up. It's about $10 for the soundtrack, which is highly, highly worth it, as far as I'm concerned. Great music. So, let's get back to the games that we've been playing.
I'm fed up of your indie nonsense. I don't play you PC indie games. I'm more of a console gamer.
Let's talk Child of Light.
Nonsense.
One, Child of Light is not an indie game. It just looks like one. That's absolutely
That's why I was saying he's tired of it. So let's talk about The least indie game that
The
ever
least
was.
indie game ever. Yeah, no shit. All right, let's talk about Child of Light. Why not? I'm ruining Larry Bundy's day right here.
I love it, but I immediately know why people don't like it, which is it's very like all the things people don't like are very glaringly obvious. Especially, it kind of even annoys me is since all the dialogue's rhyming, the problem is they have to go out of their way to make it sound like gibberish to get rhymes to work together.
Yes.
And it drives me crazy.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
there's
we
many
talked about that last time.
Badly written.
There's many times where things could be so much clearer, but aren't because they're obfuscated with we have to make it rhyme, and it drives me nuts. Especially since there's no voices and I have to read it in gameplay for the videos. I'm just like perpetually just like, oh my god.
You read it out and you realize just how bad it sounds in the first place.
All the notes they have, all the confessions. Every time I read them, if you watch any of my videos, I read them, and after it's over, I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck that was about. Like, I don't even know what that was.
Most of the time when people are talking, I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. I really like the battle system, though, like the slowdown aspect to the battle system. I think that's really cool.
Shoving the firefly in the face of the enemies and having them just sort of recoil in fear
trying to like interrupt them so that they can't hit you. I like that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that a lot.
There's actually...
I like that. Oh, go for it.
No, by all means.
No. There's actually...
No, you're doing the Let's Play of it. You talk about it.
No, I mean, I like how...
Somebody talk.
I like how you can use Igniculus to get you life in battle. He can blind enemies.
You just
he
call
can
him
heal
Igniculus.
you. Igniculus is his name.
He's Ignatius.
Nope, Igniculus.
I call him Teardrop Demon.
You're both wrong.
It's Igniculus. In my game, it's Igniculus.
It's Ignatius, isn't it?
No.
To Google.
No, it's
Google it. It was right,
Igniculus.
yeah. It was right.
If it's Ignatius, then that is an L that I do not appreciate. It looks like an L.
Wrong.
Sorry.
I could be wrong. I thought it was Ignatius, though.
Because they rhyme it with things. Igniculus.
What the fuck does Igniculus rhyme with?
I don't know all the shit that they rhyme with Igniculus. I have no
I'm sure
clue.
that will fit in with the subject matter of Child of Light. Absolutely.
Yeah, see? Igniculus. Thank you.
Is it Igniculus?
Thanks, team.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, Igniculus. Yeah.
All right,
And
cool.
so like, but you can use him multiple times. I think this game, I don't know if I would completely finished. I don't know that I recommend it for like a person who wants to get into an RPG or whatever. But what I would recommend it for is if you have a child or children, this is the absolute perfect game for them, because if you let them play as Igniculus, they can do a million different things on the map while you're playing the game, and they'll feel like they're part of it. Especially a small child. I think this would be a very good game for like bonding with a son
so
or daughter.
true.
Well, honestly, I think I'd go even further than that and say it's a good game for siblings. This game is a kid's game. I rarely ever say that because I think a lot of games have very wide appeal, but I do genuinely think this is a kid's game. And
we're adults and we don't even know what they're saying in the dialogue.
I don't think. I mean, but I think.
yeah, but that's because it's badly written, which is ideal because most kids' things are badly written. So they won't notice. They'll just like the fact that it rhymes.
Look at Teletubbies, all the bollocks they say.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
it's the Teletubbies of RPGs.
I definitely, I mean, having learned from the fact that no one gives any shits about watching Child of Light, I definitely think it's one of those things that's I feel like it's like baseball and tennis. It's more fun to play than watch. I think that's what it is. It's one of those things where it's maybe you can throw in golf for the sports fans out there. It's a lot more fun to play than it is to watch. I assume it's just kind of boring to look at.
It is
But
boring to look at.
Greek wrestling as well.
I don't know. I like watching it.
No, the art in Child of Light is really pretty, though.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
I think that it's fun to watch in terms of the art and the aesthetic of it.
And the music's beautiful. The music's great.
I'm getting a bit tired of that bloody airbrushed Photoshop look in all games now, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people say it looks beautiful. There's something that rubbed me the wrong way about it. I don't know quite what it was, because I look at it initially, I'm like, yeah, I should be able to appreciate this aesthetic. There's just something about the attempted storybook sort of, I think it's oil painting style that just doesn't quite do it for me. Maybe it's the animation. I think it might be the animation.
That funny sort of puppet thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
if you
like-
want to see
like
that
the
done well, you
puppetry.
look at the Puppeteer, which does that really, really well. But this, it just... I think it's the combination of that art style with the animation style that rubs me the wrong way. And I know that's very vague, but don't really dig the art style. I know it's a very subjective thing, but...
The one thing I do enjoy about the art style, though, is the subtlety of the fact that Aurora and her sister, who are from our world, are done differently than everyone else in the game. Even other player characters, those two characters are sort of more 3D-ish in their hair. Like, you can see the waves, and when they move, it turns, like, all those different things. And they're a completely different animation style than every other character in the game. And it's very subtle. I was like, I kind of love that because they're not from this world, and so it sort of keeps that boundary. But at the same time, I think I entirely agree with that. I just don't like the way that the weird, like, puppetry movements of the enemies look, because sometimes it works really well, and sometimes it's like, well, why would that move like that? Like, there's no reason for that to
Yeah. Some of the creatures, like the wood, the like earthy looking creatures, they look like they should be kind of stilted.
Right,
but
right.
a lot of the other creatures, you're like, that, I don't know. It has too flowing of a shape for it to move that way. It doesn't make sense.
But as standard RPG fare goes, I think the combat is fantastic. I dislike the fact that you have to choose between characters when you go into combat because you only get two. But
yeah, I would have liked a three-party combat system.
three
I think.
would have been great.
Maybe that
Yeah,
would have upped the level of complexity to where they don't want it to be, though. Because, like, I still believe this game is aimed at children. And if you think that it couldn't handle this, well, my 10-year-old plays games that are more complex than this and has no problem with it. I do think that kind of battle system, it's like, were you playing games like Final Fantasy when you were that age? Fuck yes,
Yep.
you were. If you can handle Final Fantasy, you can handle this. And like I said, the whole idea of the asymmetrical co-op with the Firefly and like giving it to like your younger sibling to play the Firefly, I think that works well. And I don't know. I think again with the rhyming style, I just don't really dig it. And the combat system is pretty good, but character development really lacks depth in a big way. Like there's no real equipment system, and you just socket gems, and they're all really generic as well. It's like plus 8%. Fire damage, or resist fire damage, or get extra health. There's nothing really too fancy about that.
You can combine them and make like diamonds and things and different gems. So the problem is that by doing that, then you lose out. Like you may have to make very concise choices in what gems you change and what you use, or you will like at the end of the game you're gonna miss out on a lot of things you could have got. I don't know. I think they definitely pushed you towards the you can buy gems thing.
Oh yeah,
I think they pushed you that direction, which I'm not cool with.
No, not at all.
Microtransactions.
Oh yeah, they did day one DLC for that game as well, an actual quest called the Golem. That's day one DLC. They then did a bunch of whole like pre-order things where it's like you can get the dark version of Aurora.
Yeah,
that gives you this spell and all that shit.
The thing that I think I dislike the most, I mean, even though I really do love the game, I think the thing I dislike the most is battle choices. Doing something turn one can affect the rest of the battle so greatly that you screw yourself. And so I fought the
What difficulty level are you playing it on?
I honestly don't remember. I don't. I know I didn't go easy. That's for sure.
I did find the game very easy on normal. I've been told that hard is the way to go on that game.
Like I mean, it wasn't. This isn't one of those things where it's like it elongates the battle to a point where it's like frustrating. You're still gonna win, but it's like I should have been able to beat this boss. Now it's just taking me 5-10 minutes longer than it normally is. The spider boss. Spoiler: the spider boss in the heart. When you fight that boss, the very start of it, I realized halfway through there was one specific move I could have done that would have solved all my problems that I was having on this boss, because there's certain attacks the boss is like, thanks for the shield and speed up, dummy. And it's like, oh my god. And if I just would have had the right character out at the right time, all my problems would have been avoided. And it's one of those games where it's just like, when you see that, and then you try to switch, by the point where you want to switch, so much shit's coming at you, you don't have the opportunity to switch out. You have to wait until there's a moment where it's like, all right, everything's cool now. I've wasted 5 minutes trying to keep myself alive. Now we're cool. I'm going to switch. And then all of a sudden the guy's dead like that. And that drives me crazy because if it was a 3-party game, that could have happened a long time ago. I don't know, just little things like that annoy me, which is why I love that they went with sort of the old school Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy VII style of battle. But there's a reason why those...
it's more like Grandia, though, than those, because it's got the active element to it.
Yeah. The thing that I like is that, and even that game, though, the thing that made those games work well, though, is that it wasn't just two characters. You had more going for you, and so you could do more things. And when it's just 2 characters, even if it's 2 versus, like, 3 on the other team, it's like, well, they're going to kick my ass for a little bit here until I can, because you have to focus on interrupting. There's so many different things you can focus on, and it just drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Whatever. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's cute to look
game.
at. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for my copy to arrive. I pre-ordered it. Haven't arrived yet. Pissed off.
That's what you get for
That's why
pre-ordering. Shouldn't
Yeah,
pre-order.
well, I didn't know. No, I've got like
You know, they also robbed your house and stole your cat. That's because you pre-ordered. And you didn't
Cat
pre-order
car.
the digital deluxe edition. You didn't buy a pack of gems. It's just how it goes.
That is why.
Yeah.
My cat died last week.
Like I said, they're not very nice. You shouldn't pre-order video games.
Cheating.
I'm going to drink this delicious Fanta Pina Colada Cola.
Stop it.
Because I don't. I feel like we need to get back to where we started.
I need to rapidly get away from the fact that I just horribly
Wait,
insulted someone and
Talk
made him
about
upset.
games that I got bloody own. I'm fed up being quiet, not knowing.
All right. What have you
Talk
played
about a
this
game.
week?
What game have you played
what
this
game?
week, Larry?
Hello. Mario Kart. You got
Mario Kart 8. New one?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I got to be
What do you
playing
reckon?
that. Yes. I say it's a step forward and also a step backwards. A lot of the things they've taken out, I think a lot of people are going to be really pissed off that they've taken out the battle mode. Well, they've taken out the arenas of the battle mode. You just fight each other on racing tracks.
Oh,
I think
what the fuck?
a lot of people are going to be annoyed about that.
Wait, what?
That's so boring.
Yeah, they got rid of the arenas and battle mode.
At that point, it's like, what's the fucking difference between the two modes if you're going to run them on the same tracks?
Well, you just race each other with balloons, so it's like deathmatch racing.
Well, that seems pants.
Wait, what?
And also, they've also gotten rid of the, when you get a power up that you can sort of hold down the trigger button and then pick up another one.
Yes.
They got rid of that as well. You can only have one weapon at a time. Because basically, people are using them as holding a green shell as a shield, so they don't get hit from behind. I think they've.
Oh no, death!
Can we just?
This is like what they did to fucking Smash Brothers, isn't it? It's like this game's getting too competitive. Better make it random again.
Yeah.
Can we just say if you have a Dave and Buster's, or I assume a Round One, or any barcade near you that's huge, just go there and play Mario Kart, because the arcade Mario Kart is incredible. It's really good.
It's very similar. It's very similar to the arcade one.
That's what I'm saying, except, the Wii U one is not the arcade one. The arcade one's actually fun.
No, it's not.
Is what I'm saying, yeah. So if you want to go play a real one with friends, and all 4 of you sit in little Mario Karts, it's incredible. And you can play as the little drum from the drum game, which is even better, because why is a drum driving a car? I don't know. It's great.
Why is so precious?
And also, they've been very influenced by the Sonic All-Star Racing games as well. They've taken a lot of things out of that book.
Oh,
Yes,
goodness.
they've
Those
got the
games are
drift
good.
turbo. They've stolen the drift turbo thing with it as well. They got things like that from it, so it feels more like a Mario Sonic All Stars game than.
A lot of people like Sonic All-Stars.
It's good.
I like it. I didn't like Transformed as much. I didn't think that was as fun as the original.
I played a decent amount of that on the Wii U, because my son got that for, I think it was Christmas, and he played a lot of that, and yeah, I dug it. It was, it's a pretty good kart racing game, all things considered.
Actually, it is very
too.
much like Transformed, actually, because you can change into a flying vehicle.
Flying and then on a boat, stuff like that,
Yeah, so you can do that in the new Mario Kart as well. So it's a step backwards a little bit, but a lot of people are saying it's the best Mario Kart for a long time.
Really?
Well, it has been a long time. So, I mean...
This is the
Well, it's not
8th
been that long.
Mario
It was out
Kart?
on the Wii. It was one of the best-selling games on the Wii of all time. It shipped
Still
over
a
30
long
million
time,
copies.
though.
It's not been that long.
Well,
Maybe
it's a
longer
3DS
than the
was the last
Nintendo kind of calendar of doing things, but...
3DS was the last one, so that was only...
Yeah, Mario Kart 7 on 3DS, yeah.
Double Dash happened.
That was GameCube. That was a long time ago, that one.
Yes,
Also,
that
can
was
we just say, where is Bowser Jr.? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Where's Bowser Jr.? I don't like it.
He's not in 8.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like it. They gave us the Koopa Kids.
They got the Koopa Kids, but they don't sort of any sort of hereditary relationship now. They've
Not
retconned.
anymore. Way to go. Nintendo has the worst. Look, if you think Blizzard's retcons are bad, Nintendo has the worst retcons. Look at everything in their main series. Metroid, Zelda, and Mario make no effing sense. They don't even try. How are they the Koopa Kids if they're no longer his kids? Now there's Bowser Jr.? I thought Bowser Jr. was baby Bowser when they had the paper. Look, it makes no fucking sense. No sense.
Oh, this is wonderful. I found something to torment Jesse with. This is brilliant. Like, he is so much of a lore freak. Can we just break his brain with that? It's like my slightly
Nintendo's the
angular
worst.
roads in Tropico 5. It's brilliant.
And having played a lot of those games, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I get what's happening. I have no clue what happens in any of those games now. I don't understand it. I still don't. I'm like, oh god, even in Metroid, like, how is he a space pirate? He's a giant
Pterodactyl.
bird. Yeah, like, he's a pirate?
Would you argue with the giant pterodactyl? It's like he can make whatever fucking career choice he so desires. I can only imagine him going to the career counselor when he was just about to leave comprehensive school. It's like, so, what are your plans for the next 5 years? Just this giant fucking pterodactyl just squeezes into the room, just drooling acid all over the career counselor's head, slowly smoking away and melting away. It's like, you know what? You can do whatever you want to do. I believe in you. I have faith. He stumbles out of the room, smashing the door, and then flies off into the sunset to become a space pirate and follow his dreams. It's actually a very inspirational story. What I would tell you is, in fact, Samus is the villain of those games. That could be canon, because
she's
there's no
crushing
fucking
dreams.
Yeah, there's no real canon in those games, so I can make up whatever shit I so desire. That space pirate pterodactyl thingy, he's the real hero that we should be following. We should be looking up to that guy. He followed his dreams, and that's how he got where he is today.
Yes.
Just like Maleficent.
Look, I'm just saying, I don't care if it makes me a space racist, guys. I'm saying giant
Spacist.
pterodactyls should not be space pirates, okay?
What should they be? Social workers.
No, they should be giant pterodactyls and just fly around and eat people.
But that's
all
not
they
a-
need to do.
That's not a.
They're
We'll say they
pets.
should be.
They're
They should
pets,
be
not
murdered.
people. They're pets, not people. They're pterodactyls. I'll have
why-
none of it.
Why is a murderer better than a pirate?
Well, pirates, there's a standard.
Pirates have other skills as well as
Yeah,
being
pirates
murderers.
Pirates need to have a little bit of charm. Where's the charm in a pterodactyl? None. No.
Where's the charm that you need to be a pterodactyl? You gonna argue with a fucking pterodactyl? No, you're not.
He can't be a pirate, but he can be a murderer. That's what you're saying.
That's just a circle of life. If he's an animal, he can kill, and that's circle of life stuff. If you're a person you kill, that's a jail sentence, is what that is. So I'm letting him off easy. If anything, I'm helping him. Really.
But there's no financial gain in being murderers.
I don't know. I think there's
He's a
probably...
pterodactyl.
There's several entire career lines based on profiting from murder. Let's get away from this.
So Larry, tell us more about Mario Kart.
Yeah,
8.
Mario Kart. So what do you actually think of it? Like, is it the best one since the last one?
It's the least laggiest online.
Oh, that's a plus. So Nintendo's finally figured out how to do internet. That's good.
I've played a little bit. I played it online a little bit. It's quite fun. You just get the ultra hardcore people from Europe and that. Luckily, I've not found any Japanese people to get completely slaughtered
by. Yeah.
Yeah. I do love Japanese people. Every time I come into a game on Xbox Live, they always want to know if I know Mr. Bean. You're for England? Do you know James Bond? Do you know Mr. Bean? No, they're fictional characters.
God, people have to always be doing that on purpose, right?
I'm pretty sure.
I like to believe they're not.
I'm trying to figure out which is more racist, the impression or the fact that they did that in the first place.
Let's be clear. Let's be very clear about fictional characters. Dodger was very excited to go to the house of Sherlock Holmes when we were in England. Just putting that out there. Just putting it out there.
And it wasn't even wait. It was in the
house. It wasn't
on the
house
wrong
next door.
address. Yeah.
It was the house next door.
The real location is actually a bank.
Which makes it even more funny because it's like people were really pissed about that. And I was like, guys, it shouldn't matter. He's not a real person.
We got to climb into Sherlock Holmes's fake attic. Well, Aaron did. We just kept
This sounds like an
climbing.
amazing trip that you had.
Yeah, we just kept climbing, and then we were like, oh, I don't think we're supposed to be up here. And Erin was like, I'm going to try to climb into that attic. And so she just like crawled into this attic and was like, there's chairs in here. And then we left. And a toilet. There was a busted up toilet in there too.
Oh my
It was
God.
really classy and good.
It was so surreal because all the guys are like, this is Sherlock's hat. And this was Sherlock sitting. It's like, no, this wasn't. This was not. He's not real. They're like, this is the case he solved. Like, no, none of this happened. It was insane. But it was a lot of fun. It was, go do that.
Yeah.
Go do that, guys.
We got to have pictures of ourselves in Sherlock and Watson hats, Jesse. So
It was
really.
actually, I was Professor Jesse Arty sneaking up on you in the guard. Thank you very much.
It's good. Those were good times.
Did you guys see Harry Potter's station?
No.
Oh, so hypocrites. Disgusting. You guys see Sherlock Holmes, you won't see Harry Potter, where he leaves for Gryffindor.
No.
Oh,
We appreciate good literature, is why.
Yes.
Shots fired,
appreciate
internet.
popular.
Shots fired.
Oh my god.
All the Harry Potter
conclusion.
fans.
Can we have a conclusion on Mario Kart, please? That would be lovely.
Okay, it's very good. It's very good. I think it's going to be a big seller for the Wii this year, probably. Not
Probably.
considering, because there's bugger all else coming out for
Well,
it.
that and Smash Brothers, basically.
Well, that, and I hope that. I do heard rumours that they might be announcing a re-release of Mario Sunshine in HD for it,
Oh.
if you care. So-
Making the same games over again. You know, they've been doing that for 20 years. Now they're just not even pretending to do anything else.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
But it's in HD.
HD TV.
HD. It's ready for the.
TV.
It's Mario Sunshine ready for the hood. So yes. So yeah.
I will say. Please go,
What? I was
Larry.
burping.
Larry.
Oh.
Oh, I thought I was gonna finish the sentence. I didn't want
Oh,
to
okay.
interrupt.
Oh, I do. I actually had finished, but yeah, that's the end of the conversation that they might.
Okay. Anyway, so now interrupting for real. I actually am willing to say that I think Nintendo is actually very smart for being less E3-y than they, every year they get less and less involved. I think it's kind of smart because I both business-wise and like sort of hip, cool internet-wise, because they get a lot of response. They put it all out on the internet and they get buzz created more so than what would come out of like a day of going to a convention, seeing all the stuff, coming back, having to write up the report of what you saw, that kind of stuff. I think they might be doing it right there. It's a shame that they have nothing ever cool to show you, but
Yeah.
Oh, they're
whatever.
probably gonna show a new Zelda game this year, or show what they got of it. So
Dynasty Warriors Zelda is what they're going to show.
Oh, for
Yeah.
God's sake.
I'm
So
okay with.
excited.
Yay.
press X to sword.
Press S to X to do everything. He just how many
Press-
times you press X, that's how many things happen on the screen.
Press right trigger to Lubu.
Oh my god.
There needs
Oh
to
my
be
God, I
a
want
pursue
Lubu in that
Lubu
game.
button. Just
I
dedicated.
want Lubu in that game. I want him to be I want him to be a secret character. He just shows up and he kicks Link's little tiny ass. I want that so badly. I want all the fanboys to cry. The end scene is Link impaled on Lubu's spear, and Diao Chan's like, oh! I want that. I want that so badly.
Somebody will draw that for you.
Thank you, internet. Get on that.
Probably.
I will frame
Anything
that.
else we've been playing this week?
I played not to bring up another weird indie game
Here we go again.
and make Larry angry.
What?
I played a game called Social Caterpillar.
Holy shit.
What?
That was awesome. No, it's really cool. It's
Okay.
short.
All right.
But it tries to depict what it's like to be an introvert who's attempting to understand people better. So like you start off in your room and every new place that you go to, you lose energy. So the more you're around people, the less energy you have, which is accurate to being an introvert.
So this is a
And
life
then-
simulator. I could do this
No,
in real
it's-
life.
it's-
Why would I want
it's
to
a
do this in a
puzzle
game?
game.
Okay.
It's a puzzle game. So like the people that are in your family, when you talk with them, it brings up puzzles that are pretty easy. So like, they're people you talk to fairly often, but you still don't feel like super comfortable. And then the further you get away from your home, the puzzles get more and more complicated because you're interacting with more and more people that you don't understand all that well.
Okay.
And you're trying really hard to like put yourself out there, right? And it's just, I thought that it was really clever, the way that it was all set up. And when you go home, you gain energy back the closer you get to home. But if you completely run out of energy, then you just go back home completely. And the way that you gain energy back is by playing video games, which I thought was funny. Because it was like, oh, that's what we do.
Are these one of these social justice games that you get promoted on Twitter?
It would be on Tumblr, not Twitter.
Tumblr. So yeah,
It's just about being an introvert. It's really cute. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really simple and sweet.
You'll know the social justice games because they'll immediately anger you. Those
shove it right in the face.
Trigger, not anger.
Yeah,
Trigger.
I'm looking at the footage of the game now. They're kind of displaying it, and it seems like an interesting way of approaching that. I know a lot of people have taken shots at things like Depression Quest, but honestly, I feel that games like that are pretty important, and there's really nothing stopping a game. In fact, one might say they're an even better way of conveying those messages because they have that interactive element to tackle something that's important. What the fuck's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that at all. The problem is, more often than not, it's contrived and shoehorned and awkward and ham-fisted, and that ends up ruining the fucking message, and then it starts arguments. So that's an interesting idea. I could dig that.
Yeah, it's really cool, and again, it's super short. Like you can finish it in an hour, but it's a nice little fun thing to play.
Yeah,
so.
Well, people harped on about Papers, Please being amazing. You've got to bear in mind Papers, Please had similar messages going into it. The guy that made that game has only ever made political games. I remember his last one. What was the name of it? Oh, damn. Hang on, I'm gonna have to look it up because I played it. It's a web game that he made, and you actually have to make up the front page of a newspaper, and you have to make sure that the Republia Times is the name of it. You got to make up the front page of the newspaper while just trying to keep the government happy, but while simultaneously trying to tell the truth, and it's actually really fun.
What? That's awesome.
And like,
that sounds really cool.
You do it too bad, you end up getting like murdered by the government and stuff like that. He made it as a warm up for the Ludum Dare competition.
Oh, that competition, man!
Yeah,
I love the games. The games that come out of there are fantastic.
Did you guys ever? Did you look at that weird text game that Marcus Persson made? That Notch made?
No, I did not.
It's super weird. It's like supposed to, I don't know. It's supposed to like plot out into numbers what it's like to grow up.
Okay.
And it's super, wait, let me see if I can find this game.
What?
Notch text.
Just Google Notch loses mind and that should pop up.
That brings up a lot of Twitter
Drowning
posts.
in Problems? Drowning
okay.
in Problems, I think is the name of it.
What?
Yeah, guys. Okay, I'm linking to you.
Wait, what? How does it even work? What?
You are a toddler. -8 knowledge plus integrity.
Right?
You need to play solve and plus memory. You have hope, body, life, 3 knowledge, love, and 3 memory. Interesting.
There is nothing. Solved.
This goes on forever.
What? Do I get 100%?
Yeah.
You are not. Solve plus hope. What does it... What?
Yes, it's an online game. So currently Jesse is playing it right now. In fact,
You are starting to become. I have hope plus body. Solve. What?
Hang on a minute. I can
100%. You are life. Solve. Holy shit! This is one of those things that will drive a man insane.
There you go. So this is the game right here. I'm currently playing it on stream. This is what it does. You click solve. There we go. You are starting to become. Click. I have hope, and I assume I solve this, and then I gain a body. I am. Okay. There we go. I have been born. I also need to learn. I will pursue love as opposed to knowledge.
I'll pursue knowledge. I'll do the opposite of what you do.
All right. I am a toddler. -8 knowledge plus integrity. You have hope, body, life, and love. I need to play. I need to learn. I need to... You're going after the knowledge route. I need to play. So...
Oh, you're doing it wrong. I'm not even born yet, and I'm at 5 knowledge.
What? How the fuck is that possible?
Baby. I'm at 6 knowledge now. All right, I'm gonna be born.
I'm
with
gonna
so much
keep
knowledge.
playing. Here we go. I'm still playing. I am building up memories here. There we go. I have no knowledge, but many memories.
So, all right. Well, first off, being a smart baby gets you nothing because you are a toddler.
Well-
minus 8 knowledge.
Well, yeah, exactly. Why would I work on that? I'm a toddler. I don't need to give any fucks right now. So I'm going to work on building great memories so that I'll be a well-developed human being and won't become a serial murderer later in life. So I'm playing a lot. There we go.
I'm getting that knowledge up. I'm getting that knowledge up so hard right now.
All right, I'm gonna start working on a little bit of knowledge now. It's like I've got to end up in preschool.
Oh,
so
never mind. It doesn't take away your knowledge. You need that much knowledge to move up. So I got to 8 knowledge, and that's what I used to become a toddler.
So in
it
other
doesn't
words,
take it away.
I could play forever and gain like a bunch of memory stats, and then go to 8 knowledge. Am I min-maxing my baby here? Is that how?
That's what I've been doing. Yeah.
I'm not really sure what's going on at this point.
I can't afford experience.
It's unfortunate.
Oh no, yeah, I need.
I'm a
minus 4
toddler.
experience.
Solve. All right, I can no longer be a toddler. There we go. I am
You're
a
welcome,
child.
stream.
This
I'm
is
really
my
excited
God.
that this is what you're watching.
this is not. No.
Try to get friends. When you get to the point where you have to get friends, it takes like 20 minutes to get a friend. That's too long for me. I'd rather just become knowledgeable. You don't need friends. You got books, man.
I got a
Don't
friend,
need
man.
friends with
There we go.
knowledge.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. Enough of this. This is weird to watch.
This is so strange. It's like once you make 2 friends, you then get the option of you need to move on, solve minus 1 friend, but you get experience. Wait, what? So as a child, in order to get 4 experience to move on, or as a toddler, in order to get 4 experience to move on to a child, you have to make 4 friends, then lose 4 friends. That is the darkest. You must lose all your friends in order to become a child. Like, that is the darkest thing I've ever heard.
I can relate to that. You know, when at that age, I had to lose all my friends because I moved house to a different town. So I lost all my friends at that age.
Notch is a dark soul. He's
interesting man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
must
part of a
grow
game
up
jam.
alone.
I don't remember what game jam, but
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, so that's that. Let's not talk about any more of that. Is there anything else that anyone else has been playing up to this point?
Thundercats.
Thundercats?
Caraway.
What?
What do you mean Thundercats?
Because he's doing the comparison video, right?
Is that the Thundercats game on the iPad? That one?
No,
What?
that's He-Man.
I thought. I thought it was
God, the He-Man game on the
a
iPad?
Thundercats game. Okay, maybe the He-Man game on the iPad is not very good. No, that is rubbish. That thing.
And then it sends you messages, or at least it did. Where like,
Oh, yeah.
Eternia needs your help. It's like, no, stop it. So I had to delete it. I had to get rid of it. 'cause I
Don't.
was
If
like,
it says it wants to send push notifications to you, don't let it. It will. It
no,
is.
it never even asked. Like
Oh,
most
wow,
games
that's
will
a dick
say,
move.
do you want to push note? I'm like, no, I don't give a shit. This was like, Eternia needs you. It's been 3 days. Like, leave me alone. There's a reason, Eternia. I don't care.
Bumbling boob.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yep.
I'm Beastman.
Skeletor.
Yes, I was playing the Thundercats game and I had to finish every single version ever made and it was pure torture.
God.
Just to capture footage, yeah.
I'm very sorry.
So yes, there is a Thundercats game and I'm doing a retrospective on it and it's fucking awful.
I apologize for that.
We could talk about Guns of Icarus. I hear that's a thing that happened this week.
Yes.
That is the thing that happened.
They won't let
I-
me play.
Here's the thing that I'd like to stress from if you watch those videos. The thing I'd like to stress is I have the best timing of anyone on the planet. I don't care what anyone says. The Jedi theme song with us slamming into that ship was the perfect I could not that it should be fake. That's how good it was. It should be fake. But it happened and I don't even care about the we could have gone 0-20 at that point. The fact that happened and it was recorded, I don't even care anymore. I can die happy. That was epic. It felt so good to Jedi ram. I'm just saying. That's all I want to say. Other than that, still a fantastic game.
Yep. It was fun.
Just want to point that out. Although I want to see a reality show where TB and Angry Joe have to live together in the same house and get things done. if they can
Absolutely not.
get anything done. Like
That was
today, take out the garbage.
Oh,
Yelling
no.
at each other.
That was probably the biggest mistake that was made there, was putting us on the same team.
You're always on the same team.
Yeah,
And I
and
don't understand.
it's just got worse over time. Like, we were on the same team for the first Guns of Icarus, and we were countermanding each other's orders at that point, and this one was even worse, and it ended up just being fucking chaos. It was just, yeah. I think you don't put two very loud people on the same team again. It was very stressful, let's just put it that way.
Here's what I want more than life itself, and I don't know if it's possible in the game. I don't know if they can do that, but I feel like the devs, they should make an exception for us because we love you guys.
I don't.
We've taken a lot of their money, so they should take an exception for us.
We need a three-way brawl. We need an Angry Joe team, we need a TV team, and we need Sky Captain Maximilian Valentine back. A three-way fight to the death.
I would be fine with that.
That'd be the most insane
Single
thing
elimination.
That's it. It would just
one
be
life.
it was just one giant Mexican standoff. We all circle each other. Just no one attacking. It'd be amazing. That'd be the best video on the internet.
I would be
Just
totally
saying.
fine with that. I need to do another video anyway, because someone on our team whose name will remain out of this fucked up our audio in a really big way. So I refused to put I think it was the dev match, which we actually won convincingly, which is why I'm kind of annoyed that we couldn't put that up. Because we had a 1v1 with the devs and we just thrashed them. But
we did the same.
Yeah. I have to wonder if they're just...
their asses.
Yeah, but the audio was sucked. But I'm going to put another team together involving quieter people. And we're just going to the pub server, and we're going to pub stomp for 20 minutes just for that video.
Oh.
So,
you know what? Actually, I think is I'm really looking forward to is at PAX. I played the adventure mode.
That's a single player thing they're doing, right? Or is it a co-op?
Yeah, I'm telling you, when the real story mode comes out, I want to play that so badly. I want to get the crew together and I want to play that because it is ridiculously fun. Although adventure mode, they have a few things to work out. Like,
absolutely.
I was playing it and you have to get to an objective in a certain amount of time, and we were doing fine. It was the right amount of challenging, where it was like, if you came against two ships, you better be skillful or you're dead, right? Mm-hmm. Just like the normal game. Finally, we get to the last area, and it's this giant open thing, and it's like, you have to hold it. It's like capture the flag. You have to hold that area for a certain amount of time. As soon as we enter, there are 8 ships, and we're like, nope, there's no way we can do this. It's just not going to happen. They're like, we probably should fix that. Yeah. Is it time for news? It's actually time for a break.
Well, it's like 4:56, so we're going to take a break, I think, before that, and then we'll do the news. Because of course we do need to talk about a little Twitch and YouTube thing that might be coming our way.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm so excited. Guys, how excited are you?
So jazzed. Oh my god. Can't wait.
All right, well, it's going to take a few minutes break, and then we'll come back, and then we're going to talk about Twitch possibly being bought by YouTube and the horror that represents.
And sandwiches.
Horribly good news, you mean?
Mm-hmm. I'd rather talk about sandwiches. It would be more pleasant than this. We'll be right back, folks. You're watching the Co-Optional Podcast. Do not go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-Optional Podcast. The final hour or so begins. I do have to leave a little bit early today, as I'm going to go listen to recorders.
The final 45 minutes begins.
Yes, it does.
Can I just say before
Can
we
I just say
start,
I hate recorders? Like, they are an instrument that has no right to exist. They are... No one plays a recorder seriously. Nobody.
It's a midget flute.
Yeah, nobody in the universe. It's the starter instrument before the starter instrument. Yeah? It's the Fisher-Price of instruments. You play the recorder before you can play anything useful. And the only reason you play the recorder is to kind of teach you what notes are. And then that's it. And then you go back into it and like, well, no one plays the recorder. And they're squeaky and they're always out of tune, and they give them to little kids to play in their little recorder group, and it's deafeningly horrific. I hate it. And I'm going to have to go listen to one of those tonight at my kid's school.
Yay!
So during the break, I decided to play more of Notch's game, and I made it to Child. I upgraded to Child, and at Child level, you unlock 2 more things. One of which is find a lover. You need to find a lover
As a
and
child?
you need to get a job. This is as a child. I want to
What?
know what was going on in Notch's childhood. It's true. And then, in order to get to teenager, you need to have 2 broken hearts. And the way you get broken hearts is by finding a lover, and then you need to make love. Then it says
What?
you need to feel. Then it says you need to feel accepted. When you solve, you lose a lover and get a broken heart. Acceptance. What is going on in Notch's life?
It's weird. It's weird, man.
Yeah.
What is
Leave him
happening?
alone.
He needs a hug. Notch needs. Can we all just go hug him? Because I feel like.
Yes. I have a feeling that there might be a hidden inner meaning that you're not getting.
No, I'm pretty sure when it says lover and then make love, there's no other hidden meaning there. There's
That's
no other
probably
hidden
in the
meaning.
teenage area, not the kid area.
No, I'm sitting. I swear to God, I'm sitting right
Are you
here.
absolutely
And
certain?
it says. Oh wait, no, I am a teenager. Never mind.
All right, there we go.
I thought it said I needed to become a teenager. I needed to become a. Turns out
Alright.
I am a teenager. All right, it's good, guys. It's good.
I like the fact that you were accusing Notch of endorsing pedophilia on this podcast, and you thought that was going to go really well for you.
No, I wasn't accusing him. I was just saying he needed a hug, not from children though, because that dude's a pedophile.
Oh, dear God. Let's get on to the news, shall we? That
Yeah.
sounds like a good idea. Let's get on to the news and not do any of this stuff, because this show's already got weird enough as it is. All right, so the big news this week is that Twitch TV is supposedly in talks with Google to be acquired for $1 billion. There have been a number of news stories related to this. The first one was a story broke by Vanity.com that says, yup, Google's buying them. And then there was a
Variety.
What, sorry?
Variety.
Variety.com, yeah.
You said vanity.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Vanity Fair, where all your best news comes
Fuck.
from.
Well, I don't know what. I must have, my brain must have connected to Vanity Fair. But yeah, it's. Fuck, what the hell? Yeah, you're right. It's Variety.com. And then there was a Wall Street Journal article saying actually the talks are just they're ongoing. They're not near a deal yet. And then there was, some confirmation that came out that said, yeah, Twitch had a choice between a number of different potential companies that wanted to buy them, and they chose Google. And we still don't kind of know at what stage the deal actually is.
Is it weird for me to say that $1 billion is low for Twitch?
It does seem like it is, but I think
Right?
it's unlikely that Twitch is actually making a lot of money at the moment. In
Well,
fact,
they
it might
said-
not be making money at all.
I
They
think
they gain that 1.4% of the American internet viewing space.
They would,
But
yeah.
but money wise, wasn't their last round of investing like $34,000, something like I don't think they're making a ton of bank on it.
I hope you didn't just say yes. They invested $34,000. That's a lot of money to invest in your company.
No, not the company, but people have invested $34,000.
You mean 34 million, I assume, or 340
I'm sorry,
million.
million. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going
I-
to say 34,000.
34,000?
34 million. Yeah,
Okay.
look.
What do they do? Pay a guy salary for you?
Yeah.
Impressive.
They bought a car. They
I
bought a
feel
car
like-
with that.
I feel like $1 billion is
They bought a Kia.
is Twitch lucked out. I feel like Twitch, should be very, very happy with $1 billion. That's nothing to sneeze at. I would take half of that.
But,
How much
but you're not even
how
in that
much-
position anyway, so you don't know anything. It's
how
only
much
just like the people in the
did,
chat as well. It's like, well, it should be at least 1.5 billion. Based on what market knowledge
Yeah.
that you have are you suggesting? You're just
There's-
guessing. You're pulling numbers out your ass. I think it should be
There's-
1.65 billion, personally.
There's absolutely no. I mean, $1 billion is. They are I would say they're overpaying for it simply because they see the potential of it in the future. And
Yeah, I want to know how much money Twitch is actually making right now, because I'm willing to say either it's not making any or it is making a very small amount.
very low. Yeah. I
Because
would
they're
imagine.
setting up a streaming service of that size is very, very difficult. And in order to pay for all of that shit, the chances are you are going to have to get massive rounds of venture capital funding. Yes, Larry.
The question is, why are they buying it? Because YouTube have their own live streaming service.
But it's terrible. And
It's not very
more to
good.
the point, it doesn't have its own audience, I think.
And it's
Yeah.
competition, and they bought their competition. Really, I mean,
It's not-
It's very smart business investment.
It's not
really.
just that, though. It's not just that. like, what they're doing is they're buying a gaming audience for live stream. Like, yes, you can live stream on YouTube, but nobody does it for gaming. It's very, very rare to see gamers streaming on YouTube. They stream on Twitch because that's the place where video games are streamed. So what YouTube and what Google are saying is this is actually an audience that we can't get ourselves. We can get it for, like, you know, YouTube-style gaming content, but we can't get live streaming content. And our attempt to do that has failed, so why don't we buy a company that's already managed it? And we get the audience that way. That seems to be...
Well, there was a rumor for a while, though, looking after some sort of gaming YouTube and wanted to make a channel just for making gaming videos as well. They've been looking for that for a while. I heard that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, there's been all sorts of weirdness with that. I mean, there's been a lot of rumors surrounding gaming on YouTube for years now. It's like, oh yeah, they're gonna nuke all Let's Plays next month, or they're gonna stop this, they're gonna stop that, and now it's a case of we're gonna grab Twitch, and I assume they will leave it as independent as possible because, frankly, they don't want the attention that the big companies have put on YouTube. You know, Google would have preferred to avoid that entirely, but they couldn't. You know, Viacom lawsuits, everything else that were thrown at them, they had to clamp down on copyright issues, which has caused all the problems that we now see today. Twitch has managed to dodge most of that. In fact, they've even become friends with the big game providers, which is perhaps something that Google would want. I don't think they've managed to do that yet. Do you really think that Google are kind of big friends with these big publishers? Twitch absolutely is. You know, both Microsoft and Sony really love Twitch and have integrated it into their console platforms.
Yeah.
So I think there is definitely a degree of value involved in that.
But will they make it? Will they keep it separate, or are they going to do like what they did with Google Video and sort of quietly retire it and sort of merge it into?
Yeah, we don't know.
I feel like they learned a lot of lessons because haven't they recently been backtracking on Google Plus? Like,
yes, yeah, they have.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things that people said when they heard this, like, oh god, you need Google Plus to log into Twitch. Like, no, you fucking not.
No, they realized that was a mistake. They're like, ooh, we goofed on that one. Because it's true. Ever since they incorporated Google Plus and YouTube, comments have gone down, viewer interaction has gone down. Like across the board, everything's gone down. And that's not good for
Images
them.
of Bob have gone down.
It's true.
Oh no.
Truly the worst thing about this whole thing.
Bob's
true.
tank. I'm
So
gutted.
sad.
This is why we don't get taken seriously. Like, this is why us as, like, gamers don't have a voice, because we think Bob's tank is the way to make shit happen.
Slacktivism.
Slacktivism,
That whole
yes.
thing was
Yeah.
so stupid.
Yeah.
I was getting really pissed off everybody putting out my videos. Stop it!
That's why I
should
turned
be
my
an-
comments off, because I was sick of fucking Bob and the tank. It wasn't about anything else. It wasn't about people linking porn
It's
sites.
literally
in there,
just Bob.
posting the entire US Constitution in a comment. It was Bob the fucking wanker. That
And his
and his
Google
fucking
Plus
tank. His wank tank. I got rid of that.
And Google Plus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely terrible. So, I actually did not so much an interview, but I got asked by Polygon to give my thoughts on this.
Of
And
course.
I sent them.
Did you have thoughts on it, TB?
No.
Yeah, well, I did a 35-minute
Opinion,
video
maybe?
on it, and then I narrowed that down to about 2 paragraphs for them, because apparently giving them a transcript of that 35-minute video wasn't a good idea. But yeah, I mean, I don't see it as being a good thing. I think there's potentially parts of it that could work out if you get that technology cross-pollination between the two. You get a better VOD system, hopefully, for Twitch, because the Twitch VOD system's terrible. But here's the thing. What's the point? Like, as someone that uses both YouTube and Twitch, and that's pretty much like all of us, right? And Larry, I don't know if you live stream, but
I've only just started doing it.
Okay,
I've
so
only
we
just
all
started.
do it, one way or the other. Do we really give a shit about our Twitch VODs? Like, if we want our stuff on YouTube, we just upload it to YouTube. We don't care if it's on Twitch or not. The only reason I even have Twitch VODs
absolutely true.
enabled is to allow people to watch the podcast early who are subscribed to the channel. That's it. The VOD system being bad doesn't really make a blind bit of difference to a lot of us.
I just want to point out that it amused me so greatly hearing the sale of Twitch, because literally everyone I know has jumped onto Twitch recently, and they're just like, yay, I'm live streaming now, guys. It's more fun interaction. And it's like, YouTube's here, bitch. It felt so good. Because I'm just like, I don't, I'll live stream when I want to, but recently everyone's just like, live streaming, it's the future. It's, more interaction. It's live. You don't have to do all this editing. And it's just you get it out there.
Here's some wonderful. Let me throw some cynicism at it. And the reason why people believe that. Let's see. 1, because you can run more ads per hour and people won't get upset over it. 2, because you can actually put out the bowl and say, give me donations, and people won't say, what the fuck are you doing? Those are two very real things that Twitch offers you.
No, and I think that's very funny, and I know a lot of people have made a lot of money doing Twitch donations.
What, putting the begging bowl out? Absolutely.
I just thought...
Oh, sorry, the tip jar. The tip jar.
I just thought it was really fucking funny. Really funny to see everyone jump to Twitch like, this is the future, and YouTube's like, no, it ain't. I was like, yay, YouTube. It amuses me. Suffering amuses me. Schadenfreude. Is that a word? It is now. That's what I love.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
It was really funny. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of people's like, it's the end. Anime tears. I don't care. It was really funny, guys. That's all I live for is a good laugh. So that was it was really humorous. So
your tears are delicious to Jesse.
Yeah, man. It was so nice because I didn't have to worry about Game of Thrones spoilers on Twitter because everybody was freaking out about Twitch. It was great.
Oh my. I definitely don't see it being a good thing. I don't think we need that kind of pseudo monopoly. YouTube is already the most popular video site by a country mile, and Twitch is the most popular live streaming site by a country mile. There's some competition. I could go stream over on Ustream if I wanted. I could go accept a fat signing bonus for Zubu TV because they're giving those out. I could go stream on MLG TV. Hitbox is also being developed as well. I could go stream on Dailymotion if I want to. But Twitch is the big daddy. And it's going to be that most likely for quite some time. And if you're trying to just create an audience on one place, Twitch is the way to do it. If you've got a big YouTube channel, you can push your audience kind of anywhere. If I go stream on MLG, I can go tell guys, hey, I'm streaming here right now, and people will go. But if you just got a live streaming audience, people ain't going to find you. There's no discoverability outside of Twitch. People go to Twitch just to see what's on Twitch.
Problem. Yeah.
It's like turning on the TV and channel surfing, and you don't...
Which, let's be clear...
Honestly, that's typically what I do on Twitch.
Yeah.
A vast majority... Sometimes I go looking on Twitch to find things to watch. A vast majority of it is shit. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, there's no question.
Garbage.
A lot of streams are really fucking bad.
Oh. I don't know. I really like the people who do really obscure, like, Japanese train racing games and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
But
really weird.
The vast majority of stuff, even on YouTube, is garbage as well. But streaming now that it's very easy to do, and really all that people think you need to do to be an interesting streamer and have money thrown at you is to put a fucking webcam in the corner and blither on over a video game. You don't even need editing, production.
That's what I do.
You don't need to understand how to use Adobe Premiere or Sony Vegas. You don't need to install Audacity. You plug in OBS, you put your webcam over it, make sure it's nice and big, make sure there's no frame, make sure it's in the most obnoxious place possible and covers a critical part of the UI, and press fucking go, and suddenly people will throw money at you. Hey! Give me some donations. Then you get yourself a sub button. That's the way to go. You get yourself a $4.99 sub button, and you put a monthly sub goal up there, and you have it scroll on the bottom of the screen. You have it make noises whenever anyone subscribes, and you do all sorts of stuff like that.
That sounds terrible.
Even the most popular streamers do that. Like, it's seriously, Twitch is
goals? Like a number of subs that they want per month.
Yeah. It's
and
even
dings? That sounds gross.
I have such a fundamental problem with that culture. It drives me crazy. I can't even express it. Even on YouTube, when people are like, if you could send donations, I was like, just fucking make more videos and get advertising dollars or get a real job. Like,
what do you think?
I just like the idea of taking things from fans. I hate that concept. I hate it. Drives me crazy.
Jesse, stop it. Larry, yes.
I said, what do you think of Patreon then? What's your opinion on that?
With Patreon, you're giving something back at least. But even then, I'm not. I mean, Krender and I've thought about it for Cox and Krender. I'm not even on the fence. I'm like, I don't even know how I feel about that because I just dislike. I feel like if someone's subscribing, you're subscribing for a reason. You get certain
benefits. It's a service. Like if you subscribe to my channel, which you all should, Then you get ad-free viewing on the stream. You get access to the podcast VODs 2 days early. We try and make it a service. And unfortunately, we got handicapped on that. We used to do subscriber giveaways. Can't fucking do that anymore, apparently, because Twitch is based in California, and that counts as a lottery. So we can't do that, which is terrible.
But even subscribers, like people who are subscribed to my Twitch channel, I guarantee I'm losing tons and tons of money on it. I have a one-time subscriber thing. Once you subscribe,
you actually do that?
Subscribe forever. And so, like, and I made it $2.99 because I was like, I just wanted to be a gateway to keep assholes away. And if they're willing to pay me $2.99, fine. Like, I'm so anti just taking things from fans that I dislike when, like, it drives me crazy when I hear, like, horror stories of, like, yeah, so I gave, like, $100 because they're playing games. Like, you shouldn't have to do that. As an entertainer, it's my job to entertain you. And if someone else wants to pay me for that, like commercials or whatever, great. But I shouldn't ever want to take something from you. And it drives me crazy. And makes me sad. Even when people give me money, I get really, like, I really wish you hadn't. I don't know what to do with this. And so I will say, like, go buy a shirt. Or go watch 100 videos, thanks. Like something else besides actually just giving me money. And it drives me crazy because I don't want to take money from anyone, and I hate that. I don't know. It might be a mental condition I have, but I just don't. It might. I probably super guilt because I just still like that's. It drives me crazy seeing people on streams like give me this. Like even Krendor, God bless him. Even when he takes money for Hearthstone, at least when he does that, he instantly spends it on cards because that's what people are giving him money for. Yeah, and it's like, all right, I'll accept that, even though I will fist fight him in the street if he does anything else. Like that kind of stuff. Like I just don't know why. It's just who I am.
So, I mean, there's a couple of counter arguments that I'd make. Like, I'm okay with people taking donations as long as they're sort of small enough to not get by any other way. I think that if you've seen live streaming ad revenue right now, it's fucking atrocious. It's really, really bad. Monetization rates on Twitch are awful. I feel it's entirely okay to not so much like go out of your way to really push it in people's faces, but say, yeah, I take donations. I have a tip jar. If you want to tip me for a job well done, by all means, because I'm not really making any money on ads. I can understand that. Personally, when I started doing YouTube in 2010, when I got my first paycheck from YouTube, I shut my donation link down and I never brought it back up again.
Same here. When you and I first started, we were doing
Cataclysm. Yeah.
Cataclysm stuff way back in the day when it was for no money. Of course, I was like, I'm doing this hardcore. If you guys want to donate,
yeah, totally.
Means,
when I ran cynicalgrit.com, when all I was doing was blogs and podcasts, and we were making about $17 a month on AdSense, yeah, absolutely, I took donations, no doubt.
But I think the moment where it was when I became financially stable enough where I didn't need that, I'm like, okay, I don't ever want to take any money from anyone else ever again. Because even at that point in time, I felt really embarrassed by it. I think that's what it comes down to. Is at the time I was really like,
yeah, it's almost like do this. I don't know. My upbringing doesn't really let me do that. Like just kind of going
Britishness.
It is a very we're very stiff upper lip kind of bootstraps. We don't want to accept any help from anybody kind of thing. So maybe
it feels awkward to even say the M word to people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, asking someone for their credit card number, you just don't talk about this.
When some people got in my face because I wouldn't talk about like how much I earn, and I was like, look, in Britain, asking someone how much they make is fucking rude. It's really rude.
It's really offensive.
Yeah, highly offensive. It's not something that you would ever consider doing, really. But after saying all of that and saying, look, I'm fine with people that take donations if it's really their kind of only real source of income, there are plenty of people where it fucking isn't and who really shove it in your face. And gonna start to get, I wouldn't even say it's controversial because anyone who has any common sense knows this, but there are plenty of female streamers who have basically set up a honey trap which is designed to make as much money and Amazon wishlist stuff as humanly possible.
Oh god,
that drives me nuts.
There are many famous streamers that do it. Casey Tron is probably the most famous streamer that pulls this shit. Don't get me wrong, she's a fucking mastermind at it. She's very, very good at it. But there are a lot of people that just popped up out of nowhere that don't really have any kind of previous gaming experience, and suddenly they're on Twitch with a nice big face cam. Why is it, by the way, that when not every female streamer, but a lot of female streamers have a much larger webcam image than the male streamers do? That's
because
a bit
works.
of a...
Well, you need to show off your cleavage more, John. That's why.
All right, yeah, that's truly what I was missing in this stream.
Get those boobs going.
Yeah, indeed. It's getting bouncing around in the face. Whoa, look at this. But This is not true of all female streamers at all, but there is no questioning the idea that since live streaming has become a thing, there have been a certain number of streamers that have popped up out of nowhere that have created it as a way of just making money from people that don't know any better. And they have they have all their sub shout outs, and they push subscriptions in a big way, and they push donations in a big way, and they'll read your messages, and they'll be very, very, supposedly very thankful. And let's be honest, it's the PG-13 equivalent of phone sex lines. That's really
Well, a lot of them actually
all
are
it is.
from phones, those chat rooms, aren't they?
Well,
Chat
some of
rooms.
them actually are. Yeah, I mean, there's not even a question about that.
They make about 5-6 times the amount of money as well. That's what I've heard.
And that's one of the things that I don't like about Twitch's business model. It just drives me crazy. Like I like YouTube in that
Well, that's not
I make
Twitch's
content.
business model, though. This came
It's a lot of the internet.
This came out of
streaming,
nowhere.
streaming.
This is the monetization culture that has erupted around Twitch.
Right, but I the reason why I like YouTube is that I make a video, and if people watch it, I get paid. If they don't watch it, I don't get paid, and I learn from my lesson, and I do something different, and I don't I'm not going to be like, well, golly gee, I sure could, use a buck right about now. Like I think I'm at the point of adulthood where if I ever can't do YouTube, I'll be like, well, fuck it, now I got to get a real job. I would never be like, guys, I got nothing, and I need money. Like I could never be that person. So I like it when you see people who have a good deal of money who are like, if you could only donate $1,000 this year, I could go to a convention. Like, go F yourself. Get out.
Somebody, I can't remember who it was. Somebody on Twitch was like, I just need $30,000 to go to BlizzCon.
I don't know who,
and
who
she
was
got
that?
it. I can't remember who she is.
Holy crap.
I was like, what?
Like that stuff.
$30,000 is crazy.
You don't need that. Like maybe you just shouldn't go to BlizzCon. Maybe
Didn't-
like
Y'all
the rest
got
of us, you have
shit ton of
to.
hate
You
on
should
that.
earn your way. Whatever your job is, earn it. It feels so much better.
Well, Yahtzee got into trouble for that, didn't he? They done this huge donation thing, and then they started going, well, he must go first class, not third class, and stuff like that. And then he must have an entourage with him also going first class.
I don't remember that happening, but that seems like a PR disaster in the making.
Yeah.
The last thing you ever want to appear in front of certainly a gamer crowd is in any way sort of wealthy or anything along those lines, because people will shit on you for that. There's no doubt.
Well, their excuse was that you get jet lag in a third class.
You get jet lag in first class. Trust me, been there, done that. You get jet lag regardless. And trust me, you don't get any fucking less turbulence in first class. I don't even fucking bother.
It's the same bloody plane, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just chair.
I'll tell you this, there's been times where, because we're US Airways Gold members, because we fly a lot on US Airways, so we happen to be near a US Airways hub, so we earned Gold status. And what that means is you get a lot of upgrades to business class and first class, yeah? Just at random, because if they can't fill the seats, they put people there anyway. It's in their best interest to. If first class always looks full, it looks desirable, right? And there's times where I've just turned that down and said, no, I actually prefer my exit row seat in the middle of coach, because it's more comfortable, I'm in the middle of the plane, I get rocked around less. This is not really all that beneficial. I love how people say we're rich. It's like, no, we flew a lot for business, so we earned it. It's as simple as that. Yeah. You can earn gold status.
Points.
You have to pay you pay $200 for 3 years. So not
That's
that
not bad.
much. Yeah, I mean, if you're flying, it's fly a lot. It's ridiculous.
I think I figured out what the reason why. I got it. I figured it out. Expectation. When someone has given you money, they now have an expectation of some sort. Based on who knows what. It could be anything from I gave you money and you're a girl, so now you have to do me, to I gave you money, so now you got to play the games that I want you to play, right? And once you cross that line, it becomes less I think it comes from being a teacher as well. There's the teacher-student relationship, and you can never destroy that trust because it should exist. And there are wacko creeps out there who do that all the time, who are hitting on students and stuff. And I feel like that's where it comes from, where after a certain point, if you're given enough money by enough people, they essentially own you. And even though they don't, there's that weird obligation feeling, and they can come at you hardcore in the end and be like, we gave you this money and you didn't do shit and we hate you. And that's on the internet forever. which is not a cool thing. That's what I think is my
it's
biggest
not.
concern.
Yeah, and once that stuff goes on the internet, it never comes down. It doesn't matter if it's true because it'll become a thing. But you mentioned, Larry, you mentioned Patreon, and
Yes.
I think Patreon, it depends on the content you're making, but I think there are definite cases for Patreon. I was Campster did a Patreon. Sorry, Larry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was being pondering about it for a while because of the movie stuff, because I was getting flagged for copyright on the movie stuff, and it takes so long to clear up.
Yeah, so you wanted to avoid monetizing it, and you just wanted to do it that way to avoid a lot of the problems.
So I wondered, is that acceptable, really? I mean,
yeah, I think there's a number of kind of video types that I think work really well with Patreon that I think are very... they just synergize really well together. Campster's a good example. Campster is a guy that makes these critiques, and they're pretty intellectual. I like him a lot. He said a few things that I don't agree with, but as has everybody, and it would be boring if he just said things I agreed with. And he did a Patreon system. He said, look, it takes me a long time to make these videos. It is impossible for me to make a decent living, like even pay my rent at the rate that I'm making these videos, and I can't make them any faster. So here's the thing.
I'm in that situation as well.
Yeah. I can absolutely understand that.
Well,
so
it's how YouTube works. It's just quality. It's quantity over quality.
Yeah, it absolutely is
YouTube.
quantity. Yeah, you got to be putting out. If you really want to make a decent living on YouTube, you are not putting out like one video every 2 weeks. You're putting out 2 videos a day, and you got to keep at it. You can't skip it. You keep going. You know, and there are very few channels that can survive without doing that. And when those channels that can survive doing that are the guys that get 1 million plus views every time they make a video.
Yeah.
The animation channels can get away with doing sporadic content, really.
Sometimes, although you got to bear in mind a lot of those are very short, so monetizing that animation can be difficult. You got to have a certain length of video to put a pre-roll on. You get worse pre-rolls if you have like a less lengthy video and all sorts of things like that.
Oh, Machinima won't even pick up anyone who does animation less than 30 seconds long. Now.
Yeah, because you can't properly monetize that stuff. Yeah. So I think Patreon in particular, especially if you have a good set of ground rules for your Patreon, and you say, look, you know, this is how much I'm getting every episode, this is the schedule, these are your benefits, and this is what I'm going to give you, and you stick to that, then I think it's a pretty good system. Carbot uses it. Carbot has produced some fantastic stuff, so I like that. And obviously you got Campster. I think, wasn't it, didn't Vati also do it? The guy who does the Dark Souls content?
I think Vati's on there too, yeah.
I think he does a Patreon too. I kind
is
of...
on there.
Yeah.
Completionist is
Spoonie's
on there.
getting $4,000 a month.
Yeah, I can believe that.
There we go.
I thought about... I'm still thinking about using it for Swords and Stitches, but I've been very clear about I'm not going to set up a Patreon until people have seen a few episodes and know exactly what they're paying for. Like, I feel like that's really important too, is not saying, I want to make this thing. Will you donate every time I make a video when they don't even know what they're getting into? You know,
That's more of a
like,
Kickstart thing, really, isn't it? That if you've
Exactly,
doing
yeah.
it before,
yeah.
Yeah, I like Patreon a lot more than I do Kickstarter because usually the results are more immediate, and since it's usually a pay per episode thing rather than all up front, you can just say, all right, well, you're not doing your shit, so I cancel, and what, you're out a couple of dollars? Not a big deal.
You guys are selling me on Patreon, and
I think it keeps you more accountable. I think it's just a general better system.
You don't get money unless you make the video.
Yeah, and it allows you to fund content that otherwise couldn't actually happen with the normal regular ad system on YouTube. Like those long critique videos. They're not commercially viable. They don't get enough views to be commercially viable, and they take too long. But Patreon allows that content to exist. And it's basically you're paying for specialist content that wouldn't work otherwise. I can dig that. I think that can work. Assuming you do it right.
Yeah, my Thundercats video, I've spent about 3 months interviewing people who worked on the game and that, trying to track them down and just getting the facts completely right and that. So
yeah, you know, your thing took 3 months. It's not going to get 1 million bazillion views, unfortunately. So yeah, but you know, Patreon makes sense for that kind of content. So yeah, I like Patreon a lot more than I do. I much prefer it to just begging for donations or whatever. I think it's a lot better. And I should clarify, by the way, that I'm not saying that every female streamer that has a donation box is some kind of cam whore. That's bullshit. But there are people that exist to do that. And that's what that culture has created. If you allow for that stuff to happen, there will be people who will come to try and exploit you. It's as simple as that.
I've never let my sexual alluring, do my videos.
I've tried. It doesn't. It's not easy.
Oh, you're a lovely bear, you are. So
I try, man. It's just internet won't bite. Internet won't bite. Whatever.
You're just not hitting the wrong marketplace by the sounds of it, Jesse.
Yeah, my problem isn't with taking money. It's that no one will give me the money.
You need to go for the daddy bear market. That's why. See,
I'll be on Grindr later today.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well,
I should go on Grindr and ask for donations. I want to send me your donations, Grindr fans.
No.
So, donation for you.
Conclusion on the whole Twitch YouTube thing. I mean, does any of us think it's actually going to be a good thing?
Well, hopefully they.
I don't know.
It would be nice if they throw some money at Twitch and sort of improve the sort of streaming quality, because I get a load of people from the UK complaining that the stream isn't perfect and that it's always stuttering out for them. Yeah. So maybe if they get some more international sort of servers up, it would be good. So hopefully they'll throw some money at Twitch and not just leave them to their own devices.
Well, that'll be nice.
Yeah, I don't see it could ever be bad.
What? What do you mean you don't see it could ever be bad? It could be absolutely terrible.
I don't. But I mean, just judging by how I think they're going to approach it, I don't think they'll make any horrible bad mistakes. I think it'll most likely end up where it is. Like, it'll just be what it is right now, but with more Google Analytics behind it and more targeted advertising and things like that.
Would you like them to merge your Twitch account with your YouTube account?
No, I would actually not like that, which is what I don't think they'll do. I think they're going to keep it entirely separate. There's already too many gears and cogs and things in the background of Twitch that to mess with it, although they mess with YouTube all the damn time, but I feel like to mess with it would be, I don't think
it would be good if
they'll leave it alone.
It would be really good if they can sort of integrate the YouTube channel with Twitch, that you get notifications on YouTube that you're starting to Twitch.
That would be...
Yeah. I dig that.
If they could have... Yeah, something like where it gives you a time beforehand, or it lets you set up a video that whenever...
Yeah, or it pops up in the
countdown
sub box.
video.
I started doing this a long time ago, putting out little 30-second videos when I was going live and then deleting it afterwards.
Yep.
And I mean, I've heard rumors that YouTube doesn't even like you doing that, but I don't monetize the thing, so I don't really see the problem.
Just set it to private each time instead of uploading it each time, because it will come up as the latest video if you set it to private and unprivate it.
Fair enough, but the problem is, like, it can take several hours sometimes for things to populate to your sub box. So by the time it's populated, you're fucking done with the stream. So that could be a problem. I would love to see that level of integration though, where it told your YouTube subscribers if you'd gone live. Because obviously, if you stream on YouTube, you've already got that. But that's for someone like people with our kind of subscriber bases. That's a big fucking deal.
And you can see the difference every time. Every time where you just use Twitter or Facebook or whatever and say, "Hey, I'm streaming," versus putting it on YouTube, you see the difference. It's visible by several thousand people.
Absolutely.
People now know. Yeah. So.
Yeah. The elephant in the room is obviously the idea of copyright. Yeah. And things like content ID matching. Now, I can't imagine that content ID matching is easy to do with a live stream. It's got to be a fucking nightmare. But the question is, if Google ends up owning Twitch, does that bring a lot of attention to Twitch, and does it bring the content ID beast over to live streaming? Because if that is the case, let's be honest, there's a lot of people that have been streaming, a lot of people even that I like watching, that stream and they listen to music on Spotify that they do not own. And that could end up going really badly for them.
They'd have to hire them super flaggers, won't they? That they've been talking about on YouTube a while ago.
What is a super flag?
That's the only way. They hired people. They've got special. It's like a moderator for YouTube that they can go on YouTube, and if they see a copyright video, they can flag it and it'll go taken down straight away.
Oh, really? Oh, they actually have people doing that. Interesting.
Yeah, they're called super flaggers.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's loads of people complaining about it a couple of months ago.
That's a potentially unfortunate name if you say that a few times fast. You gotta watch out for that.
So yeah, they're like moderators on YouTube, but they can. So
yeah, content ID is not perfect at all, and it's still fucking with people. Was I think it was Quill. I think Quill 18 put up his Tropico video. The fucking thing got flagged for the game music. It was his review copy that he was allowed to put up, and YouTube flagged it. Like, what do you do in that situation?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? It's ridiculous. If that came to Twitch, that would be a fucking nightmare to deal with. Absolute nightmare.
But how would that even work? Would your stream just automatically shut down? I don't think that would happen.
That has happened. I've seen people have their...
It's happened on YouTube for YouTube live streaming. It absolutely has. Wasn't there a big event? Or maybe it was it wasn't the NVIDIA conference. It was one big conference that got nuked off YouTube during its live stream. It was a big company. They used music that they had licensed, and they were allowed to play, but YouTube didn't know that, so YouTube pulled their fucking stream. It was some conference. I think it might have been NVIDIA, but I can't remember. So that's happened multiple times.
They've had a couple of times on Twitch. Your friend has managed to shut live streams down.
Oh, I cannot imagine.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yes. That guy.
Yes.
Well, I mean, there's been DMCA stuff that's happened on Twitch as well, but it's fairly limited. It's mostly for pre-release games that people have somehow got a hold of before launch, and Twitch is pretty strict about that for obvious reasons, because they want to keep them on the side of the publisher, so they do comply with those DMCA claims. But I don't know. I don't see a potential for a lot of good things happening here, and that definitely concerns me. But what I would like to see is paid subscriptions for YouTube. That would be nice.
They do that.
Exist?
Troma do that. You can rent. You can rent videos.
Yeah, rental stuff.
That's stupid.
Not really something like that. I would just like to see something that gave you certain benefits, gave you like ad-free viewing on YouTube and things like that. The problem is that I don't know if Google would ever go for that because their entire business is advertising. But I think they might have to eventually get with the times, and it's either that or people just start using Patreon, and Google gets none of that. Google doesn't get a cut of that at all.
But with all that said, I think having a subscription model on YouTube...
Yeah, I know about the paid subscriptions. They don't work that way, guys. People are like, oh, paid subs for YouTube. They exist. Yes, they exist for, like, Netflix-style services, not for random game streamers.
Right. No, I think, like, a monthly fee to access it without commercials, a lot of people would pay that. Because I get messages all the time that are like, I want to help you. Can I send you money? I just don't want to sit and watch ads. I was like... I'd rather you just watch the ads. If there was this service, that would save me a lot of like heartache with having to be like, I don't.
Not to mention
really
for tax reasons. Last thing you want to be doing is taking bits and pieces from all over the fucking world. That'll get you in trouble.
Oh yeah.
There's all sorts of problems with that. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see an ad-free service. I would buy an ad-free service for YouTube in a heartbeat. I don't use AdBlock because I realize, look, my entire livelihood, well, not all of it, but a lot of my livelihood is based on the ad-supported business model, as is everyone else's on this show. So I'm going to support that because I think it's the fairest way to get free content, at least right now, anyway. But
I did start using AdBlock for a while because I got cold feet because when I first got a partnership on YouTube, I got suspended for suspicious activity on the ad.
Oh, the good old AdSense fraud thing that pops up every once in a while. Yeah, that's fun.
So I put on AdBlocker for that because I got cold feet and scared, and if anything happens again, so I can prove that I never touched it.
Yeah. Pay to comment? I'd go pay to comment in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Yeah, do you want to pay $5 a month to post stupid
amazing.
shit on my channel? You're more than welcome to. You go do that.
All my videos would be super controversial. I'd change my entire show to be like, you know what I hate? Babies. Jobless goons. Ugly. And they shit everywhere. And if you have babies, you're a godless heathen. I just piss everyone off. And I'd be like, comments, 15 cents. I make a fortune.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I like that strategy.
Oh, I'd like to see them go down a flatter route, honestly. They want to do that, have a system where you buy sort of like a YouTube premium and then you divide up a portion of it between the channels that you like based on whatever ratio you want to do. You're basically paying like $3 for the privilege of ad-free, and that's going to YouTube, and then the other $7 kind of split up, 95% to TotalBiscuit and then 5% to Jesse. It seems totally fair.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Well, I get nothing.
Yep.
Well, I'll give you a bit. You can have.
Oh, thank you.
You can have more than Jesse does. That's all right.
Oh.
There you go.
I get to clean the boot.
I'm telling you, you guys are gonna end up killing me. You're gonna end up killing me. If YouTube dies, I've got nothing. I'm gonna end up walking into the ocean and just letting the tide take me out to sea. Because I will be like, I can't do it. I can't go back to teaching. I'll be hell if I do that.
I mean, you know exactly where we're going. If YouTube goes to pot, we're going straight over to Blip. As simple as that.
Walk out to sea.
There's a reason
Oh,
why
I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting loads of people on that kind of glasses complaining about Blip at the moment. Their ad revenue is absolutely virtually non-existent sometimes, and they keep forgetting to pay people the right amount.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm getting loads of people complaining on that. And
Yep, that's the same problem with the other live streaming services as well. It's like, oh, Zubu sounds great. Zubu's a bit shady, and some of that money comes from places that it shouldn't. And then
there's orphanages just powering up. There's like stuck.
Yes, they're taking budgets from orphanages. That's what's happening. It's like this
right.
this podcast is no longer available due to a copyright claim by the Sapinda Group. Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on with Azubu as well. I mean, bear in mind Azubu shut down initially, and then like remember the previous live streaming service, Own TV, that went to fucking pot. They still owe thousands of dollars to people and never paid and just vanished into the night. It's bloody hell. Unfortunately, YouTube and Twitch are the best we got at the moment, so I'm just hoping that they get better and not worse. And that would
Much
require
like
being
Comcast
optimistic.
Time Warner, am I right, guys?
Fucking hell. Comcast and Time Warner merging, net neutrality going down the shitter, FCC basically being bought off by Big Telecom, and YouTube and Twitch merging. Basically, the internet is fucked. Enjoy.
Yep.
I'm going to start streaming only from China. I hear they've got great internet over there.
Yeah.
Much less restricting.
You can get a
So
Youku
crazy.
partner.
Oh my god.
Yes. Are we going to talk about what happened to Rare as well?
Yeah, we can wrap up with what's
can see
happening.
What happened with Rare?
What happened with Rare, Larry?
Basically, surprise, surprise, after their successful launch of Kinect Sports Rivals,
Indeed, very successful.
it bombed, and basically they've laid off most of the staff, and they don't know what to go from here. They don't know what to do. I mean, they have got some of the best franchises in video gaming. They got Perfect Dark, Battletoads, Conker,
Banjo.
Banjo-Kazooie,
Yep.
Technically GoldenEye,
Viva Pinata.
Viva. Well, you don't need to go that far. But
That's fucking brilliant. What are you kidding me? Viva Pinata is amazing. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. It's Pokemon on LSD. Isn't
It's
it?
fucking brilliant. Viva Pinata was one of the most creative games come out on the Xbox 360. That motherfucker came out in 2006, and it looks like a modern day game. It's great.
They're sitting on They've been going for years about they're going to release Dinosaur Planet as well.
Yeah.
And so they got all these great franchises. What do Microsoft do with them? They make them put all this shovelware shit on Kinect, and nobody buys Kinect because nobody wants Kinect. But no, you have to keep making them because that's what the popular thing is. Now and now that Microsoft are going to abandon the Kinect for the Xbox One, it's going to be a separate add-on. That it's even going to be even more superfluous now. So why don't they make them go back and
You
play the games that
mean
people want?
I practice saying connect Bing go to Bing for literally 5 weeks until it finally worked, and now they aren't going to use it anymore? I'm done. Go to Bing! And it wouldn't. It would never go to Bing. Xbox, go to Bing!
You'll still be able to use it, Jesse. You'll still be able to do that.
Doesn't even the Xbox won't go to Bing. No one will go to Bing.
No one goes to Bing anyway. So no, it just feels like they're such a great company one day, and they're just this shadow of their former self, and they've been put in the doghouse really for all these years. So that's why I feel bad for them. But
It's pretty sad, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean they were one of the greatest developers in the 80s and the 90s, and they're just pummeling out rubbish now and just sort of waiting for the inevitable. Same thing happened with Signosis, really, wasn't it? I mean, they're making games like Lemmings and Shadow of the Beast and stuff like that, and in the end, they just made them churn out sequels to Wipeout before they shut them down.
Yep.
So it's just
Psygnosis had the best fucking logo in the universe. That great big fucking owl thing.
Metal owl face.
Indeed. Oh, man. So many good games from Psygnosis. Absolutely. They made lots and lots. They made Roll Cage. No one bought that. Roll Cage was amazing. It somehow got a second game.
I'll tell you what I did.
Nobody bought that either.
Tell you what I bought recently that you might like. a book.
Jesse, what the fuck is on your face?
Yeah.
Here, look, here you go. History of Ocean Software.
Oh, Ocean Software. So
Yes.
What?
And that's not the same as Ocean Marketing, by the way, before anyone comes up with that. No, Ocean...
You also have like the history of Westwood Studios and things like that?
No, they're doing one on the history of US gold. That's going to be the next one.
US
They've got a
gold,
Kickstarter
yeah.
up. But yes.
Ocean,
But yeah, no,
man.
it's just,
So many good games from Ocean.
I know. It's just a shame they turned a bit rubbish in the 90s, and that would have really.
When they did all the licensed stuff, like fucking Dennis the
I've
Menace
always-
and the Addams Family, and
Well, they always done licensed stuff. I mean, they're doing stuff like RoboCop. That was the first ever Spectrum game to get 1 million sales.
yeah. Oh god, they did the Waterworld game as well, but they also did stuff like Super Turrican 2 and Shadow Warriors and all sorts of really great games like that. Fucking Chase HQ.
And then Chase HQ2, which is very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they were
And
great. publishers.
Worms, you know. They made Worms.
And they ported all the EA games to the Super Nintendo and stuff as well.
Yep.
So yeah. And then they got bought by Infogram. Is it Infograms or
I
Infogrames?
couldn't tell you. Infogram sounds like a breakfast cereal, I'm gonna be honest.
That's probably the correct one. Then.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
most likely.
No, yes. So yeah, no, you just miss all these great publishers. I mean, there's very
Yep.
few, and I miss Acclaim really. They were quite good.
Acclaim did put out some interesting stuff, and a lot of tosh as well.
I'll tell you one thing. Fun fact, I was offered the rights to Vex for $700 a couple of years ago, so I could own the rights to it.
I don't even know what that is, I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, it's a bit of a Mario 64 sort of clone game.
Oh, okay.
Really. But I could own the rights, and so I could be.
Wait, so companies are selling the rights to old games? 'Cause I want to
Acclaim-
buy.
Acclaim would buy, if you buy any Acclaim game, the rights to that.
I want to buy the rights to an old game that used to be very popular, and then just make a really shitty version of it, and just on purpose.
Well, that's
Like,
what
I'm
Kickstarter.
Do it
destroying
by
your-
Kickstarter. Buy the rights,
Yeah.
do it by Kickstarter, pocket the Kickstarter money, pocket the pre-order money, pocket the early access money, and pocket the launch money.
Of course, that sounds like something I would do. Just be like, yeah, I have all your money now, and then I'll end up on a beach earning 20%. It's fine. Hans Gruber plan. It's gonna happen one day.
And that's what dates that movie. He believes that anything would accrue 20% interest in today's economy.
Hans
That's why I
Gruber.
can't take the Die Hard seriously anymore.
He won't take your donations, but he'll take all your other money. So,
To make my game, to make my vision of Battletoads 2 Electric Boogaloo. It'll be so
Battletoads
good.
3. There's always
There was a
two
2?
already existed.
yes. Battle Maniacs.
Battletoads 3.
Yeah.
man, I gotta pee.
Give me your money. That'll be the
I'll say it.
subtitle.
I'll tell you one thing. I had a dream.
Was that the
once.
subtitle or was that I actually have to go and pay message? I'm trying
No.
to figure out which. Okay, fine.
I don't gotta pee.
We will be wrapping up fairly shortly anyway.
Oh.
For
I'll
those
tell
in
you
the
one thing
audience
about-
who are desperate.
Can I tell you I had a dream about Die Hard? They had a sequel, and
Die
there's
Hard
never
2?
another
Die Harder? Because
Die Hard-
that's a real thing.
Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Die Hard 6.
Live free or
isn't it?
die hard?
Be up to 6. No, I had a dream about a Die Hard movie, and one that they had the Gruber brothers come back, and it was Charles Dance as a villain. Always remember that's the
The
dream.
Gruber
I had.
brothers were actually the heroes the entire time.
Until
They are
John
now.
McClane killed them. Go America.
John McClane is a horrible
Suck it,
murderer.
Germany.
Oh, nobody likes the Germans.
Shall we wrap up releases before we leave?
I do.
Oh,
Sure.
No one answered my question.
what was your question?
Releases. Shall we wrap
Does
them up?
anybody like- Oh, I thought the question was, do you like the Germans?
You never posted releases.
Yeah, I've got them here.
I don't have them.
I forgot to.
We talked
Some
about
stuff
releases
is going to be
up front.
released.
Thanks. Well done.
We did it.
Yeah, I put. There, here you are. Here you are.
Things are coming out, guys. Get ready. You'll see them on the internet.
Okay, am I
Fine.
doing this fast?
Yeah.
What's your time scale like? Okay. May
5 minutes
20th,
at most.
Drakengard 3, Wolfenstein The New Order, Mugen Soul Z, Transistor, R-Type Dimensions, Sparkle 2, Dragon Beat Legends of Pinball, Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga, Neo Planet, Tokyo 23 Coup, Seppuku Wars. May 21st, Always Sometimes Monsters. May 22nd, Swords and Soldiers HD, Mega Man 5, Fit Music for Wii U, Squid's Odyssey. When is the next? 27th, okay. May 23rd, Tropico 5. That's it.
Where's Watch
Until next
Dogs?
Tuesday.
It's not
Watch
until next week. That's May the
Oh.
27th,
Oh,
which is also I
already
believe embargoed out for that.
I'm already disappointed that they took out Anne Robinson from it. It's not going to be like the series.
Wait.
So.
Ah.
So,
No one else gets
man.
that game. That joke. Oh, fuck.
how'd you go? Yes.
I found out what it was. It's my keyboard. The light is my look. When I move it, the light is my keyboard.
Oh, what the heck?
What is going on with
Jesse
this
is
thing?
the transistor.
This is the brightest. Look at this! Look at this! What?
You fucking
Why is
idiot.
it so bright? Oh, that's fun.
Yes.
It proves that you
Well.
like butter.
Well,
Sure.
I do
Does
like
it?
these awkward silences. They're so
yeah,
entertaining.
they're lovely, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good question. Which of the 5 collector's editions are you gonna get for fucking Watch Dogs? Oh my god.
I'm gonna get the one that involves me keeping my integrity, not
Well, you
actually
have to
buying
buy.
that game.
You got to buy 3 of them to get everything. 3 of the 5 collector's editions, haven't you? Apparently.
Fuck me.
So isn't that? Oh, well, it's turned into crap now.
The audacity of it all.
Yes, it's rather rambunctious of them.
I would tend to agree. It's absolutely disgraceful. Ridiculous.
Wasn't like this in my time of
No.
Nazi jellies.
No, not at all.
They don't like it up 'em.
No.
These Frenchies.
In my day, they all had respect. Respect.
We used to give them a clip around the ear. That was our death match.
Give him a good whack on the lugholes.
Yeah, we used to tie them down and give them a good rogering.
Yes. We did all of that and more besides.
Just savage beats. Ugh, sorry.
Well, we killed Jesse. We almost killed you. That was a brilliant end to the show. All right, that pretty much wraps it up. I've got to go listen to children squeak on recorders for an hour in a horrible, out-of-tune cacophony of terrible. But I will do it to support my kid and his dreams.
Yay!
His dreamed of collecting phlegm in a tube
Yes.
that makes noises.
Yes, I think maybe we'll just get him to play the cymbals. Whatever the case, thank you for watching the Co-optional podcast, folks. If you want to follow our channels, they have been below us the whole time. There you go.
Mine's round here. Mine's
Yep.
down there, but
Yep.
I'm also at youtube.com/Larry.
Yes, that's a good fucking domain.
I
name.
know.
That
That's
is
a
hard to
vanity-
get. Jesus.
That's vanity address. I'm just waiting for a bigger Larry to come along so I can sell it to him for a 6-figure number.
Perfect.
Makes
Some
sense.
internet bunnies.
Like, now you just hate it that PewDiePie's Swedish and not actually from Birmingham and called Larry. He's just
No.
perfect. That's where you make your living.
Yes.
Charge him royalties.
You should go to my Twitch, twitch.tv/dexterity bonus, where I shamelessly ask for donations and make my picture really big.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She does all of those things.
Yep.
All the time. Constantly.
Constantly.
She has
That's all
no
I do.
interest in video games whatsoever.
Yeah, I hate games. Games are for boys.
Games are so 80s. They're full of dorks and the nerds.
No, Larry.
I would love if this whole thing got shut down while Jesse was still gone.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. You've been watching the Crossover
Okay.
Podcast. Thank you very much for watching, folks. We will see you next time. Goodbye!
I won't. I'm gone. I'm never coming back.